Good evening everyone, welcome to Sector 1 on this fine Sunday night. Tonight we bring you the last race of round 5. It's a 2-hour enduro at Monza for our 12 Cat 2 Group B drivers, commonly known as our Div 4, and it's brought to you tonight by Adelaide Ceramic Coatings, who specialise in thermal barriers and industrial coatings. My name's Guru17 and joining me in comms tonight is Captain Muffin. How are you tonight, Captain Muffin?
I am absolutely sensational, Gur. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone at home. Hope you're doing well on your Sunday nights. Back again here at Sector 1 Sim Racing for the last of our 2-hour endurance races here at the Temple of Speed. And mate, like Big Kev, I'm excited.
Excellent, excellent. And any insights from the guys practicing, thoughts on pace? I might have seen a little bit of carnage at the chicane.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie to you. The boys here, they're very much testing the limits, Pastor style, just really going... guns blazing, so to speak. But right now, the few cars are definitely, I feel, worth keeping an eye on, such as your Dobrev, your Proust, and your Madrix and Kezes, I believe. I reckon their pace looks pretty good so far, but 2-hour race, anything's possible.
Yeah, and I can share from my race that concentration that's needed just to hit your lap numbers every lap over such a long race, and when you throw the complexities in there of the dynamics of multiple position battles over the 2 hours, you certainly know that you've been in an endurance race. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at the track itself at Monza, and it's 5.793 kilometres, located north of Milan in Italy, and as Captain Muffin said, known as the Temple of Speed due to its long straights and high-speed corners. 11 turns, racing clockwise. Race settings tonight, 10-minute quali, 2-hour race. That should see 65, 66 laps, depending on race pace. In the previous races, we've had probably the top 4 to 5 go through and do that extra lap. Tyre settings are 3 by wear rate. The soft compound is mandated. Fuel rate is by 2. 6 by refuel rate. It's an early morning start. Weather forecast is for good conditions during the race, so very important on a long race like this. And also being an enduro, important to know, double points are on offer. So the win tonight is 36 points, which will have a fair bit of impact on the point standing. So from a strategy aspect, being the last race in the enduro round, these guys have had the chance to review the 3 previous rounds. I'm sure they'll have their strategy set, but there are several. The consensus is that the 4-stop strategy, managing your fuel and tyres to achieve those optimal lap times and make sure you've got a good car at the end, seems to be the way to go. But that said, there's variations on that 4-stop strategy. Undercut, overcut and fuel save has provided position changes or gains across the previous 3 races that have been run. So rule of thumb, 4 by 13 laps plus somewhere in there you need to get a 14 lap stint. And another key element of the strategy is, when do you take that 14 lap stint? Is it to get you in or out of traffic? How does it work? Your thoughts on strategy, Captain Muffin?
Well, for me personally, without a doubt, I'm a kind of bloke that loves doing more pit stops and attacking the track as hard as humanly possible. So right now, a 4-stop would be the one I lean towards. If I could make a 5-stop work, I would do that, but I think unfortunately the pit transit time here is just a bit too long to get the most out of the fresher rubber underneath the car. But yeah, no, look, I'd say without a doubt, there's a couple of options here. The 3-stop is risky, but if you're able to maintain good speed and not chew your tyres too hard, get a good sort of track position and good placement in the race. But we'll see what the boys do here. There's plenty of options available to them, and I'd say more often than not, the undercut is the way to go. So if I were these boys, I'll do their 14 lap stint towards the end of the race, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And certainly on that three stop, it's interesting for the drivers to keep an eye on it during that first stint. And if the field is fairly condensed and they're managing to keep fuel, have enough fuel to run 16 laps, there might be a surprise there. So we'll keep everything open on that. Points, we don't have a points graphic tonight, but can tell you the ladder is very tight. Believe it's currently headed by Killer for Div 4. The top 5 are separated by 4 points. The top 8 separated by 10 points. And given such a tough race tonight, that will quickly change, and 38 points being on offer for first place. So, yeah, expect that points table to look very, very different after that. So I guess that's the formalities. Are the guys ready to kick off some quali?
I think we're just about ready. There was one bloke in the pit lane who was having some issues with his pedals. I'm just waiting to confirm that his car is currently good to go. And then once that is confirmed, we will get everyone underway here. While I'm just waiting for that, I'll quickly jump into the chat if I can and say g'day to all the lovely people at home watching. So you got people like Ice, Luscious Lenosis, the old Prospector, Jimmy Superfly, Budsy, Sways, Jason Arts, Mr. Bumcrack, the old plumber, Rainbow Socks, aka Jimmy Jr., Thunder Heafy, Laminator, Wartime, and old Mr. Midpack Hack himself. So, hello everyone, hope you're joining us on this Sunday night. But I think we're nearly about good to go here.
Ticked in?
Yep, everyone's ticked in.
Everyone's ticked in.
I think let's get this qualifying underway and get ready to send these boys off for 2 hours of the Temple of Speed.
Excellent. As soon as we get this screen going, we'll throw across.
Yep, the big red button, or I guess in this case it's a red, white and green button has been pushed, being painted like the Italian flag. I'm not sure who done that. But anyway, right, cars in the pit lane lined up, ready to go. Let's head on down and check out the action.
Yep, so first out of the pits we've got Jim Bob, and he had a little bit of pace in the opening practice that I saw, closely followed by Brewer, Good Doc. We've got Keza in there in the Brocchio 5 sim racing. We've got Petey Pops in there as well, who's been pretty crook with Allergy for the last week or so. So this is really his first outing other than a very short practice yesterday.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't had a lot of time to get behind the wheel and sort of find his speed and where it's at. But sometimes I feel going with less practice makes you drive better because you drive with a sense of caution, not knowing what the limits are, and usually you can get a good result from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I might just follow Killer. He's leading the points in Div 4 at the moment. Just hope these guys give themselves a little bit of a buffer as they get towards the end of this outlap.
Yeah, I think really a track like this, you generally, well, it's hit and miss. A slipstream's going to absolutely give you tenths and tenths of a second down the big long straights here, but then again, that dirty air through the corners can easily disrupt the car and cause you to lose time that way. So, well, it looks like a lot of the boys here going for the slipstream option. We'll see how their laps go and what times they can produce.
Yeah, man, with that dirty air into the chicanes, in particularly Redafilo and Rogera, the chicane 1, chicane 2, that dirty air can very easily cause cutting of the curbs, which comes here with a hefty penalty, and that's not what you want in qualifying.
No, absolutely not. As currently people on the first lap, Jim Bob has stopped just for a T1. Good Doc has gone off at the chicane there. It's currently in the sand. No good start there from the Blacklight boys, but the car's still facing the right way. They should be able to still get around and put a lap on the board. Good dog there, unfortunately, sort of parked up in a pretty bad spot, sort of somewhere on the racing line, but gets the car going again. Goes over to the left-hand side of the track. Yep, gets out of the way. The car's coming. Lovely to see.
Yeah, we might just run on board with Brewer. He's one of his first car out on the first time lap. Just see where this ends up. So it's coming down to Ascari, which is a high-speed chicane. Very tricky if you don't get the turn in. Very accurate on this curve.
Yeah, it's a very deadly chicane, this one here. Hit the curve the wrong way, you'll spin. Don't take enough curve, you'll understeer, go wide and possibly spin. Yeah, but Brewer's done a good job there of it. Gets a nice bit of speed coming up to the Parabolica, or whatever its new name is now, but I refuse to use. On the anchors, third gear, tips it in, drifts back to the outside. A little bit squirmish there, I think it was, getting on the throttle, but keeps the face in the right way. Comes across the line here, let's see what time he's got for us. A 49 dead. Not a bad opening lap there, nice banker in my opinion to have handy. Yeah. Currently though, it's looking pretty good. Closest time currently is Madrick with a 49.3, about 0.3 of a second behind. Killer and Keza following in close. Dobrev to P2. Ooh. Separated by less than half a tenth of a second. This is going to be interesting. Big
run, and just on Keza's time there, we've got Wartime's mum in the chat says, "Go Keza." So good teammate support.
Yes, no, thank you, Mrs. Wartime. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Oh, right, yeah. From there, most people done their first laps there. Currently a top 5. Mr. Pruski himself leading the way from Dobrev, Madrick, Killer, and Keza. Currently top 5 separated by 6.5 tenths of a second there. Very close grid in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this qualifying, it'll be on until the last lap. They're very well matched this field.
Spun coming out of the second Lesmos. Unfortunately, they just hit too much AstroTurf and the car didn't agree with it. I'll lose this lap, but the car's still in good nick, still facing the right way now, it is at least. He'll go again, have another crack at it. Just has to get out of the way of Daz, he does.
Yeah, I'll just see if we can actually catch that on the replay. I know there's been some technical issues with it of late, but let's have a look. Just caught the curb by the look of that.
Yeah, it's easy thing to do. The curbs here, especially when you get to like the green AstroTurf side of the curb, it's just absolutely putrid to try and deal with. As just seen there, Prue has improved his lap time, got now 2.5 tenths on the field. Hiller to P2, displaces Dobrev, so does Keza. Ooh, very tight at the top here. Still 6 tenths, near on 7 covering your top 5 cars. And currently, good doc here about to see his first lap as well. See where he goes, up to P10 with a 150.538 there. Still got one of the cars in the pit lane. Now's the car with the pedal issues. I'm hoping he's able to get that sorted sooner rather than later. We'll just wait and see how that goes though. Even with a bloody track that is, you know, upwards of 5 to 6 kilometers in length, it seems that most of the cars are all located in one spot or one sort of general area. Like, it's qualifying, boys. It's the time to just go put your fastest lap in. You're not here to race yet. But still, all the boys are closely knit together. Yeah, across every division in Sector 1 you'll find it. Even with a full track at their disposal, every car will end up in the exact same spot eventually.
Yeah, very tight at point 157.
Yeah, wow, I didn't see Dobrev there improved his time. And he's purple. Dobrev is purple, he's got nearly a tenth up. Through the Ascari chicane, a little bit squirrely, gets it facing the right way, uses all of the track available. Guns it down to the Parabolica, foot going flat through the firewall as Prue has moved the benchmark forward. He's done a 48.4. We'll see if Dobrev can try and get near that as Keza also goes up now. Times are dropping like flies here. Dobrev to the line. 48.7 goes
he's
back
got
to
that.
P2.
0.041 over P3. Wow.
That's tight. That is really tight. And P pops there, goes to P7 with his lap, I just noticed. Good Doc improves his time, goes up to P8. Just seeing that.
Let's have a look at Killer, just through the first sector. He's down fractionally, 0.144.
Yeah. Just had Malevolent one as well, improve his time with a 49.6 to put him in the P7. As I got a car for track, I just saw that. He might be in the Good Doc. Yes, it was, unfortunately, off a T1 again. Still got enough time to make it around there for another lap. Hopefully the tyres have got enough tread on them to give him the grip he requires.
Yeah, just on a minute and a half, so they should all get a 6 lap in.
I have to watch out though. Laminator. Ooh. Laminator's unfortunate. He's only going to get 1 lap in here, so this is going to be like a shootout lap for Laminator essentially. Yeah, I've got a strange feeling he's gone to his sort of backup pedal set, so to speak. So he might not be completely well versed with the car beneath him. But we'll just wait and see exactly what he can muster up with the very limited amount of track time he's had over the course of the night. As Pruitt goes faster again with a 48.3.
Yeah, we've got Keza crossing the line. Can he do better? No, down 2 tenths.
But yeah, Pruitt there. Currently got 3.5 tenths up on P2. P2, 3 and 4. Separated by a tenth of a second. Daz goes to P6 there with a 49.3. Still a second off a pole. Nemesis Gaming improves his time to go to
P2.
P2? Wow!
And Pruitt is fastest through the first chicane at the first timing check. He's set purple, so he's on another run. Really putting his foot down on the field here.
Yeah, no, he's not messing about, as it's the final lap now. Let's see, first car across the line, it'll be an 11-1. And his lap is down. He will not be improving this time around, unfortunately. He will be at best P8 for this upcoming race. Next one across the line will be the Laminator. Currently without a time, so right now he's going to be going faster than his previous best, so to speak. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, we've got Pruitt on stream in car, a bit over 2 tenths up. So he really wants to put a stamp on this pole position.
Laminator there was a 52.9. Unfortunately, couldn't get the car hooked up, so he'll be starting P12 for this race. Yeah, Pruitt through the Parabolica. One last time this qualifying session. Oh, follows the outside line perfectly.
And to the inside, yep.
Yep, shortens the distance to the
48 flat.
Whoa!
Wow, that is a great time.
That is sensational there from Mr. Whitehips himself.
And given the, what did I say, 10 points in the top 8, Pruitt was sitting around about, I think he was sitting 7th or 8th. Those are valuable points for pole.
Oh, absolutely. That's done a world of good. Position for pole, points for pole position, I should say. Yeah, it's a sensational up there. Putting half a second on P2 and Nemesis Gaming. He was about to cross the line. He's crossed the line himself. Doesn't improve. Dobrev in P3. God, 7 tenths of a second between first and third. Pruitt's just left the field for dead. Got Doc there, improving his time to go into P9 with a 49.6. Next car across the line will be Jim Bob. Currently P11. He will not improve his time around, unfortunately. And the last car will be Dobrev. Yeah, unfortunately, he's also down to currently 2.5 minute lap time. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's your grid. What a qualifying session that was.
All right, we'll get the results up and get them loaded. All right, P1 with a sensational time of 1:48.031 Brewer. A great lap by Nemesis. 5/10ths back, but a 1:48.568. Really, really good lap. Debrev in third, Killer in fourth. And if you look at third through to fifth, they're pretty much same lap times. There is nothing in that. So yeah, Killer in fourth, Keza in P5, Daz in P6, Madrick in P7, Petey Poppers in P8, and we've got Good Doc P9, Malevolent One P10, Jim Bob P11, and Laminator didn't get a chance there just with his pedal problems, sitting in P12, but I expect to see a lot more in the race from Laminator.
Yeah, I've just been given word that Laminator has gone to like an alternate sort of pedal situation, so his pace might be a bit slow at the start, but once he gets the feel for it, I'm sure his pace will pick up and he will be getting himself towards the mid-pack, I reckon, at least. It may be even towards the front, but we'll see where we go. But ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, chuck your bloody predictions in the chat there. Right now for me, I think Pruski, I reckon he's got the race win, but I can see Debrev and Nemesis swapping positions for P2 and 3 respectively.
Yeah, and those guys race hard. Depending on what they do, I think any of those guys down from there, certainly Killer, Keza, Daz. Actually, it's too hard to call because all of those guys on a given day can take it up to the top three there in quali if they start fighting each other and pulling them back to the rest of the field. And there's 2 hours to do this, so plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm just making sure all of the drivers here have emptied all the unnecessary ballast out of the car, aka urine. So all of them currently are just relieve themselves doing the old Greg Murphy special, 2 or 5 minutes in the Port de Lou, but I'm only giving them 2 because we don't want to mess about tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that was a absolutely awesome qualifying session. I really just can't stop saying that, But yeah, while we're waiting as well, I'll jump back in the chat and see. A lot of love going out there for Nemesis, from what I can tell. People are keen to see him getting on the front row. I think that's his best ever qualifying result here at Sector 1. So good on him.
Yeah, and Rainbow Socks there, as you said, the good thing about a 2-hour race is that anything can happen after that. And, starting down the back in quali really doesn't mean a lot.
No. Yeah, especially at a track like this, a lot of slipstream is available. If you can just keep your nose clean and not make any unnecessary contact, you can easily find your way through the field and just pick them off one by one.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Look after your car and just, don't let the tiredness get to you. So it'll be around about lap 13 or the 24-minute mark. That's if people are running what seems to have been the standard full-stop strategy so far in round 5.
Yep. Like you said before, these boys here have had upwards of 6 hours of previous racing that other people have done to sort of analyse and work out their own sort of strategy options and what they think will be best for them. But yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I think every race so far has been won by a person on the 4-stop. I'll have to get someone to correct me in the chat if I am wrong, but it does seem like that is the most popular strategy. But hey, look, we'll wait and see. One of these boys might have something up their sleeve that we are not predicting, but time will tell. But I think most of the boys there should hopefully be ready to go by now. They should have been to the toilet, flushed, washed their hands, I hope. But no, I think for the last time here at the Temple of Speed, let's get that big red, green, and white button pushed and send these guys underway.
Excellent. We'll just get the broadcast set up.
Cars off on the grid, engines rumbling. As we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big red flashing lights. And we are
flies
underway.
off.
Everyone gets a good start by the looks of it. Great start there by P-Pops there, gets himself up to P7 off the start. Let's just make sure all the boys here, a lot of people going for the inside line, P1. Oh, wow, there's a few people, Killer's gone through, Pruski's gone through. Yeah, wow. Oh, we got, yep, a few cars in the sand. Yep, that is a definite red flag scenario there. Unfortunately,
yeah, with the pole sitter being impacted as well, on top of the other three.
Yeah. So yeah, that was unfortunate there. That was a few cars gone off. I think there was like 3 that I saw. I'm not sure if you saw more there, Gur.
No, I saw those 3 and just, yeah, it was a fair bit of disruption to the top half of the field.
Yeah, no, it was unfortunately the boys there getting a bit too ready for start, but hopefully they will realise their mistakes. Everyone that did make a mistake off the start there, fix her up and go again for the second attempt and get it right. But it will mean that we'll have to set the manual here, ladies and gentlemen. So please do bear with us while we get this grid set up for these boys to go racing again.
Yep. So what we'll do, we'll just go into the quick intro again. The minute we've got the field set, we'll be straight back into it. We don't necessarily have to wait for the full intro to go. So won't be long, guys. Alright guys, we're back. Quick grid reset. Pretty sure all the drivers are ready to go. So fingers crossed this time there's a little bit more restraint on the first chicane and we can get through cleanly and get the 2 hours run and done. So Captain Muffin, over to you.
Yeah, I think for the second and hopefully last time tonight, we're pushing that big button there, the one paying like the Italian flag. I'm sending these guys underway. They know what not to do at T1 now, so touch wood. We should be sweet and get some good hard racing action. Alright, yeah, buttons being pushed, cars are on their way to the grid. As we got the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth red light. Got a false start on the back from Laminator I've just seen. But everyone else is underway. Same start again. P-Pops gets another good launch. Goes at the inside of Daz there. Killer's also trying to get a position. Killer's going for a move again. Oh, ooh. Ooh, it's a bit chaotic here again. Oh, wow. It's slow as through T1.
Very slow, but I think Clem, but is that Petey Pops in third?
That is Petey Pops in third. What a start! And that's only one car I think I saw went off in the form of Jim Bob, and thankfully didn't lose too much time from it. We're underway, ladies and gentlemen. We're not red flagging from here.
Yeah, Petey Pops up to second. That's a sensational start. What's that? 6 places, 5 places.
That is 7. I'm pretty sure he started. Oh, he just started 9th or 8th. But either way, that's a sensational job there from Petey Pops. Subsequently, though, for him to go up means that some people have to go down. Yeah, Nemesis down to P4, Debrev down to P5, Keza down to P6 there, unfortunately for him. But overall, though, the field's still very much tightly packed, other than the Prua, who's currently set on with the City guys at the finish line. Oh, the car going wide there.
Killer's gone through onto Petey Pops.
Killer's gone through and out. Nemesis goes wide. Nemesis goes very wide. Debrev is spun! Oh, does a 720 pirouette on the grass. Gets the car going again, but currently he'll be at the back of the pack.
Well, we might see if the ABS gods are working for us, and we'll see if we can get a shot of that incident.
Unfortunately for Debrev, with running possibly the best looking car in the grid, hashtag no bias. The car facing the wrong way.
Yeah, he just went wide, got on that green stuff, and depending on what your aeromechanical setup is there, it's...
Oh, has also got another spinner. Madrick has spun at the first chicane. Ooh, that's unfortunate there. I think possibly trying to go too wide with another car. Just missed it. And he's been reset as well, just had insult to injury. Oh, it's a shame for Madrick. But he's got a friend in the Brev to play with for a bit, so hopefully these two might be able to work together here and bump draft each other back up to the pack here.
Let's pick up the action down around 6th, 7th, 8th, quite, well, 5th through to 9th actually, quite tight. Only half a second between each car, so they're all in slipstream reach, so I'd be really interested to see what they do. Are they at the stage now, 2 laps are out of the way, do they just sit down, get in the slipstream, save a bit of fuel, look after your tyres, or are they still going to go for it?
I think they're still going to go for it. It is lap 2, and you usually want to try and find your rhythm sooner rather than later, but a lot of people are here, and to be fair, I'm the same. If you see a gap in front of you that's not very big, ideally, if you feel you got pace in the car in front, you want to get past them and try and get into your rhythm with clear air in front of you. But that's just me. We'll see what these boys do.
Yeah, Daz, P5, and very experienced driver and very quick, so it'll be interesting. He's just 9 seconds off Prua, which seems like a lot, but with the carnage of the first 2 laps, well within striking distance over the first stint.
Unfortunately, Petey Pops, after his great start, has dropped back to 6th, unfortunately. May have had an issue somewhere, as just after being in 2nd, fallen back down 4 places. Unfortunate for him.
We might go on board with Prua and just see how he's inking out this lead. 3.6 seconds over Killer very early in the race, just starting his 3rd lap. And God knows what I'm doing with Italian names, but coming up to Retafilo.
It's all good, mate. The only Italian words I know off the top of my head are the garlic bread and
pizza.
Yeah. Great minds think alike. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Buongiorno, Captain Muffin.
Rigatoni, something, Mario, oh no. Anyways, I'm just going to stop before I start becoming too insensitive, for lack of better terminology.
Yep, so coming down to Ascari, See where his braking marks are. Just around that 100-metre mark, which a little bit later than I was doing, I can pick some tricks up here.
Yeah, actually, might be worth watching, taking some notes. Yeah.
not my strongest circuit, so I'm glad my race was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. No, it's a circuit that's it's either great for people or it's not great. There is no in between here. I think for me, I love this track with a passion just because of all the long flowing, well not flowing, but long straights I should say, combined with hard braking zones. But some people prefer to have like your technical, sort of like more corner-based circuits like your Catalonias, Laguna Secas, stuff like that. But each to their own. But it's a great track. But that's just me.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is when you watch the drivers that are really quick around here, their preciseness on the curves is just phenomenal. And every series of curves, it might only be a couple of tenths, but you add that up over the full lap, and easy 7 or 8 tenths quicker in a lap.
Oh,
it's just
absolutely.
sensational. And actually a really good lap. Nemesis 148.3, fastest racing lap. He's 5.7 behind Brewer. But he's strong. This track, it could be a good one for him. He had a good qualifying time and a really powerful race lap.
For reference as well, comparing fastest lap times, yeah, Pruitt in lead has best time as a 48.8. Killer's done a 49.3. Nemesis, like we said before, is a 48.3. And Kez has done a 49.4. So yeah, Nemesis right now is definitely cream of the crop in regards to sort of the initial pace, so to speak. The gap, it does seem to be sort of like ebbing and flowing a little bit. I guess what Nemesis would probably want here would be if Keza can give him a little bump drive after Killer, and they can both try and capitalise on the cars in front and get positions that way. But I speculate Keza's probably going to be more the kind of bloke to take the position himself and drive away. But we will wait and see how it all eventuates. Currently separated by half a second, Nemesis and Keza in P3 and 4 respectively. And there's about a 1.5 second gap to Killer in P2 there in front. And that gap itself, it's also ebbing and flowing. I'll get a look here down the straight, like a speed comparison between Nemesis and Killer to see if that gap goes up or down. Give us an idea to see what sort of downforce levels they're running. And right now, Nemesis definitely running the more sort of slippery car. He's found a 1/10 and a half, about to be 2/10 of a second before braking. Interesting. All right.
And that's the art of Monza. There's cars here that are running downforce and relying on a balance of sort of medium mechanical grip and a bit of downforce. There's others running no downforce, very heavily reliant on mechanical grip, which yes, it has the speed and sometimes the outright lap advantage, but what does it do to the tyres? So we have seen people struggle a bit on tyres, but.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an expert with the tuning side of things. I'm going to say that outright first off, but I think from memory, cars that run less downforce, while they'll be faster in a straight line, they will generally wear their tyres quicker because they've got less sort of pressure pushing the tyres into the ground, so they just, I guess to an extent, scrub a bit more and just causes more excess wear, especially on the front tyres, depending on how your aero balance is set up. If you're talented enough with it, you could set up in a way that where you got a lot of front aero and not too much on the rear to make the car really pointy, to try and sort of mitigate that sort of tyre wear, I guess, increase that you get from running low downforce. But with that as well, going through some faster corners, thankfully here isn't too bad for it, but some corners on various circuits we have on the calendar, you'll find yourself the rear want to step out, and it's either going to be you catch it and you keep going, or you go catch it and it'll snap the other way and you'll just possibly do some old death wobbles, for lack of better terminology.
Yeah, and on this track your left-hand wear is fairly disproportionate given the nature of the left-hand fast corners. So where that comes into play is in, from laps 11, last 3 laps of each stint, and that can have a big impact on your lap times.
Yeah, it very much can. And yeah, right now everyone seems to be doing a pretty good job, and just having a quick look through the field, unfortunately I just noticed, well, Dad's down in P12 there. He did a 2-minute 8 lap time last time around, so something big's happened to him that we've missed. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, just looking through the whole pack, the tyre and fuel wear between all the cars in the grid currently look pretty even. So I'd say right now, I'd say most cars here are either all on a 4-stop or all on a 3-stop, but I'd speculate they'd probably go for the 4-stop, just looking at the cars that raced the past few weeks, what they have done, but I could be wrong, we'll wait and see. But Nemesis as well, I just want to bring your attention back to the front, has caught up to Killer and the Loose in P2 there. Gap is now 7/10 of a second. Kaz has unfortunately been dropped a little bit here. He's now 1.5 seconds behind Nemesis. Whatever Nemesis has done to that car, he's flying today. Gets a little bit loose to Riscari there, recovers it, gets out of the corner nicely. Just out of slipstream range of Killer in front of him as they run down to the Parabolica. And well, we know from looking previously, as Pruitt's, hang on, Pruitt's
just in front of that, so he's had a moment.
Yeah, he's had a moment or seven penalties, so now we've got to fight for the lead here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll see if I can catch that.
Yeah, I missed that myself. Well, that's not good. But just looking here, Pruitt's lap time just first lap just gone, 1:53. So yeah, he's had a major error somewhere. Either a big penalty or he's gone for a Ascari.
Yeah, no, it was just too late for the replay. So
that's right. Right now, yes, we've got a 4-way fight for the lead. Nemesis tries to go around the outside, doing the old Max Verstappen special. Can't make it stick. Carries on. He's got about a 9-10 second gap now to Killer in front. Kazza's now back in the game, half second behind Nemesis, well and truly in slip. I believe we've also just had our first boxer as well. Daz is currently in the pit lane. That's very interesting. Lap 6, that's very early. You'd almost think he's going to do like a 7-stop with a stint that short. But okay, rightio, we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what he works out here.
7. Yeah, it's interesting why I go in. It's definitely very early.
Yeah, look, hey, he might be pulling a master stroke here. I don't know. But we'll wait and see what happens. Nemesis look at the inside of Killer. Nope, can't make it stick, unfortunately. Killer goes deeper under brakes. Covers that inside line. Or goes over, I should say. But yeah, right now, after Pruitt's incident, whatever happened to him, it's livened up this race entirely. 4-car fight for the lead.
And on board with Nemesis. See what happens around Parabolica.
Oh, we've also got Malevolent One in the background, almost having an off. Loses a lot of time, loses a couple of positions there. Now down to P8 behind Jim Bob. Just have a Ascari there, got the death bobbles going on, but managed to recover it. Not bad as well from Debrev after his little moment he had at the start of the race. Back up to P9, good job from him.
Yeah, so a little bit of slipstream, but I'd say very low error, carrying a speed well over 270 down there, where most cars are around the 263, 265.
Yep, no, that sounds about right. We're also on a track, thankfully, being at this point of the race, we've still got a lot of cars close together. The old black light civil wars going on between Jim Bob and Good Doc. Jim Bob getting the better of Good Doc this lap around into the first chicane. I got a feeling Good Doc isn't going to let that stand. He's not the kind of bloke to be, I don't know what's the word, beaten in his own car, so to speak. Or at least by his own teammate. Wait and see how that goes. Malevolent One just in behind them as well. I really want to watch these cars at the back here from P5 backwards, but this battle for the lead, top 4 cars, this is good to watch.
There's about 2 seconds between first and fourth.
That is what you love to see. All cars are still in slipstream range. And really, I think Pruitt's just broken that slipstream from Killer, so...
Yeah, Nemesis is well and truly in here, and really interested to see what he does down the main straight this time. If he gets a good run out of Parabolica, with that top end speed and the slipstream.
Yeah,
so goes in tight.
In nicely, yeah. Gets a really good run through the corner there.
He should get him.
It's going to be touch and go. I think probably what Nemesis would have wanted is to have a bit more of a gap in between him and Killer, get like a slingshot effect, but being right in his rear bumper, he's not going to get as much of that benefit. Goes, looks for the inside line. They're currently side by side. Deep under brakes. Killer's trying to hold it. He does hold it as well. Whoa, good racing these two. What that has done is let Peru off the hook. He's now up by 1.5 seconds near on over Killer. And they're going too wide again.
Inside line
into
for
the second chicane.
Red Filo.
Nemesis now got the inside line again. Can Killer go around the outside for the second time in as many corners?
Ooh, that might have an invoice on it.
Ooh.
That was
We'll
very deep by Nemesis.
Wait and see as, yep, he does get through eventually on him after getting that outside run and a better traction going on the exit of the second chicane. Now, I wonder if Nemesis can catch Brewer here. This is going to be the telltale sign of how quick that Symmetry Sim Sports Motorsports, and apologies for getting the name wrong, car is.
There's your top four. Throw a blanket over them.
Yep,
and that's what
now
Keza right up on the back of Killer, that fighting.
Yeah, it certainly has, but what it has done though is that the gap between first and fourth now has now gone up to 3 seconds. So yeah, unfortunately the fighting has let Brewer go away. Nemesis trying to sort of follow him. Gap's now 1.2 between the top two cars. Brewer's spun! Brewer's lost it! Oh no! Oh no, got touched a bit of curb on the parabolica there, and well, there's the mid part of the parabolica. And just spun around. Oh, and that's put him 6 seconds off the back, and Nemesis is now leading the race. I'm not sure if I call it a commentator's curse, but if it is, Brewer, I am so sorry.
Let's see if we can catch it. No promises.
That's right. Ooh, that was just unfortunate there. But Brewer knows he got the speed. He's still got, we're only not even 20 minutes into the race yet. So there's plenty of time here for Brewer to make that gap back up. And I reckon after that he's going to be motivated. He's going to be driven. The red mist will have certainly descended.
And he's certainly got the pace.
Yeah, absolutely. He put that car on pole by half a second, so he knows that car's quick.
Yeah, look, we're lap 10. Time for, I think, if you would like to walk us through the APR tyre and fuel update. It'll get with pit stops coming up in about 3 laps. It'll give us a really good idea for where the cars are at.
Sounds like a plan to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, your tyre and fuel update brought to you by the lovely guys and gals at APR Automotive. You're in safe hands. Currently leading the way in Nemesis Gaming there. Currently he's got, what would that be? Maybe about 40% fuel, give or take. Oh, excuse me. Currently not saving fuel, absolutely going hell for leather. Currently looking at about half, sort of like tyre wear, so tyres half one, I should say, on the left hand side from the front and back, and probably about 1/3 on the right hand side front and back. Maybe a touch more on the rear right than the front right, I should say. Killer down in P2, when I say down, only 1.5 seconds off the lead. Currently just under half a tank, so he's got a nice fuel advantage over the car in front. Tyre wise though, pretty similar, maybe a touch more wear in that front left, but overall looking like a pretty good car beneath him. Kessa's there in P3, copy and paste what I said for Killer pretty well. Tyre wear, fuel amount I should say, pretty much exactly the same, just under half a tank and about halfway worn, touch over on the left hand side of the car. Brewer then P4, he's dead on half a tank, so Brewer, even with him leaving the race, was still saving fuel, so he's going to get a massive gain when they do the first round pit stops here. And tyre wise, once again, half worn on the front left side and the right, of front left and rear left, my apologies, and about 1/3, possibly a touch less than that front right, on the right hand side of the car, so he's got a very good car beneath him right now. P pops there in P5. Currently pretty much the exact same fuel as Pruski in front of him. He's got a touch better tyre wear than the cars in front, but overall same sort of trend where you got about half worn, a bit better than half worn I should say, on the left hand side and about 1/3 worn on the right. So P pops there looking to possibly get some positions when he goes, time when he goes for his pit stop. Jim Bob in P6 currently. He's used a bit more of the left-hand side of the car tyre-wise. Probably a bit below half worn, or half left I should say, as we currently go through the Ascara chicane. And fuel-wise, probably a touch under 40% there, so he's probably on par with the blokes like your sort of nemesises and whatnot. Debrev down at P7, also on a really good fuel save here, just under half a tank of fuel. Tyre-wise, pretty even across most of the tyres there. Bit better on the front right and the rear right, but overall pretty even tyre. We're still about half worn, maybe a touch less than half across all 4 tyres. Malevolent one there in P8, also just under half a tank of fuel here, and with tyres exactly the same as the car in front of him of Debrev. As he looks for a move to the inside here, hopefully he's still on this gear.
Yeah, held on it. Yeah. And
lovely. Well, gets through. Lovely move there from the switchblade driver. Now, as we continue on here, Madrick in P9. He's used a bit more of that rear left tyre and a bit more of the front right, but overall, car's looking pretty well the same as those in front of him, generally speaking. And he's used about, he's got 45% of that fuel left, give or take, so he's doing really well there on his fuel consumption. Good Doc there in P10. Yeah, he's probably the worst off on tyres I've seen so far. Not by much, but that rear left, yeah, she's not going to be wanting to do too much more driving, I reckon. She's reaching the end of her days, probably about 30% of that tyre to go, so to speak. And fuel-wise, I forgot to mention that as well. As we've got someone off.
Flag.
It's Jim Bob. Oh, Jim Bob spun it. Oh, and Good Doc just drove straight past that, and he's not sure if he'd be cheering or crying. Probably a bit of both. I'm not too sure. Anyway, so yeah, and Good Doc's currently got a bit less than 40% of fuel. Eliminated in P10 there. Unfortunately, with that new pedal sort of running, his tyre wear is definitely the worst in the field by a decent margin. He's used a lot on the side of the car as well as the right. Fuel-wise though, he's probably up there with the best, just under half a tank of fuel, so there is something to take out of the car he's got beneath him. Jim Bob we've already ran over, who unfortunately had his spin. And Daz there in P12, after doing one pit stop, he's got 3/4 of a tank of fuel and some pretty fresh looking tyres. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your APR Automotive tyre and fuel update, brought to you by the lovely people at APR Automotive. You are in safe hands.
No worries, and thank you. And yeah, look, that pit stop out of sequence, it'll be interesting if you roll the dice and just see where that luck will take you. And it could be some really good planning too. So we're all on lap 13 now. So this is where the pit window opens up. Lap 13 for the standard stints, around the 24-minute mark interval. So it'll be interesting to see who takes this, or whether they run for the 14 laps, get it out of the way up front.
I think right now for these boys here, or really for most of the field to be honest with you, because those first couple of laps were spent sort of duking out with other people and whatnot, generally because you're sort of not focusing on the track beneath you, you use a bit more tyre in that first stint. So I wouldn't recommend doing the 14 lap stint first. Some people might, but I'd definitely do a 13 to start with, especially with the sun beaming down on the track. Those UV rays will be absolutely chewing the tyres.
Yeah, and a chance to come out on a lot of fuel over the second stint. You've had a chance to have a drink, and yeah, just get back in and focus on that next 13 laps.
Yep. And as I say that, Nemesis goes around again. Killer's in. Killer's in. Alright, identical fuel numbers there.
Prua's in.
Prua's in too. He's going to have a bit of fuel advantage here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wide hips the fuel saver.
And Petey Pops is in.
Petey Pops in too. Malevolent one next round. He's going to do a 14 lap stint now.
Debrev's in.
Debrev's in. Madrick goes through. Good Doc's in. Eliminator stays out. Jim Bob be the last person to decide whether or not he wants to do the 13 or 14 lap stint now. Rounds the parabolica, nice and tidy, and he is coming in. Rightio then.
So Nemesis, I think from memory, had just over a 2-second gap. So
Yep,
it'd be
he
interesting to see
certainly
how
did.
it comes out after the pit stops.
What gap? What I'm also looking to see too is see if Pruitt got the most out of that sort of like fuel save to try and sort of close that gap up. Currently now 1.1 to Laminator in P6 there. Oh, Laminator, sorry, no, he's hasn't stopped yet. Currently approximately 4.5 seconds to Keza, who was sort of fighting for the back end of that podium, I should say. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen, confusing myself there. Let's not keep an eye though here on Killer on the loose. Currently a 28-second gap to Nemesis leading the race. Let's see if the gap comes down, coming through the Ascara chicane. Yeah, you can definitely see the new tyres are still working wonders. Through that section of track alone, he has found nearly a second. Upwards of a second.
So Nemesis in with 17 left, so he did use a bit of fuel.
He definitely did chew through it without a doubt. Malevolent One surely will be boxing as well. Madrick will also follow him in. Let's wait and see, unless these boys are planning a 3-stop. Malevolent One goes around again. Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting.
He could have a 3-stop there.
Certainly might. Yep, Nemesis out the box. And coming back onto the track now. Killer has got the
him.
undercut.
Yep.
Kaz's going to get him too, actually.
Be interesting, how much fuel did Nemesis take on?
Nemesis took on the most amount of fuel. There's not much in it, but he has got an advantage. So right now, Nemesis could be playing the long game here. He did lose track position, unfortunately, but he has got more fuel and he's also got the slipstream. I wonder if he might just use that to try and sort of bridge that gap to Keza and Killer in front of him. And then when they go for their next stop all together, I imagine, Nemesis will have like an upwards of a 2-second lead with the fuel save he's done.
Yeah, Malevolent, sorry, Mav, call it for short.
Mav. Call him Mav.
He just had a bit of a moment there out of that last corner, so on the worn tyres, he will have these guys all over him very shortly if he's going the longer game, which I think you have to do 16 laps and then a 17.
Yep, so I do. Oh, I've got someone from the background there. Nemesis went off there ever so slightly, managed to recover it, didn't lose too much time, but did hit the wall on the run down to the Ascara chicane. And he's got dirty tyres in the sand. Oh, almost looped it, kept it going, drifting out of the Ascara chicane. Now it's facing the right way. Shake the dirt off and keep it going, son.
Yeah, fresh tyres.
What it has done though, the gap between Nemesis and Pruski now, 1.5 seconds. And these guys are essentially fighting for P3. That we know of, at least. Actually, it will be. With Malevolent One there, even if he is on...
He's out. He's definitely on a 3-stop, I think.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then he's not going to be fighting for the win, because right now he's got 2 cars behind him on very, very fresh tyres. And if they get ahead, they've got the same amount of pit stops to go. There's no real advantage there for Malevolent One.
Kaz is down the inside of Killer. Great move.
Ooh, good move.
The thing is, these guys will sort of back... Oh, is it a little bit wide there?
Yeah, a little bit wide. Now Killer takes the outside line, which will become the inside.
Yeah, Kaz has got enough overlap there. He should be able to hold that through to the chicane.
He certainly will. Malevolent One, though, is sort of like... I'm not going to say backing him up, but he's sort of just acting like a bit of a cork in the ball to these top 2 here, keeping them close together.
He'll probably drag the positions 2 to 5 will probably catch up here because they've all got to get past him and they're not going to be able to do it at once.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, his tyres are 16 laps old, so he should be in this lap.
Yeah, you can just tell he's nursing that car, very gentle on the throttle, like he's stepping on an eggshell. Ooh. Still has got the lead of the race, though, to an extent, more than one there, so good job from him to be in the position he's in.
So technically, Keza will be in the lead of the race.
Yep, Keza is your provisional leader. As a little bit of contact there on the exit of the chicane between Malevolent One and Keza. Malevolent One is sort of, is he going to defend it? What's he going to do here? Takes the inside line. Killer wants a piece of the action too. Keza around the outside, makes it look easy. Killer trying to do the same, but unfortunately can't get enough overlap to do so. But Malevolent One will be going to the pits this lap, surely. Yep, as he does.
He's in.
Right, that releases your top two. Let them go fight each other. Gap between your sort of second and third now, Killer and Nemesis Gaming, is 2.8 seconds there. So that's a fair bit of gap to make up, but it's not an impossible one.
No, but what it has done, it's brought Brewer up to the back of him. So
Yeah,
he's now he's less than 4 seconds off the lead of the race.
Yeah. The top two are still going side by side through the first chicane there. They're still scrapping like it's the last lap. They don't care it's 2 hours long, mate. They want to lead as many laps as possible.
Yeah, it certainly gets your attention, and I guess it does keep your awareness up. But it's also going to bring the guys behind into play. They find like this for too many laps.
Yeah, like for example, for that through the first sector alone, Nemesis and Prisky have found 3/10 in that top two, just through that first sector. And by the looks of it, it's actually starting to come down a bit further, I think. We should give a bit of attention though to someone who has unfortunately found themselves in no man's land. Oh, Petey Pubs there in P5, which great effort really, considering where he qualified, as well as the sickness he's been sort of battling for the past few days and whatnot. A great job from him there, sort of 11 seconds to Prisky front, 6 to Brev behind. Doing a great job in my opinion.
Yeah, it is tricky when you've got that distance either side of you. You're sort of managing your gap, but you're also you're constantly thinking about ways, how do I get that 11 seconds back? How do I get it back? But it's the good part is he hasn't got anyone pressuring, so he can just eyes forward and see what can be achieved.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't need to do anything sort of special here, Petey Pops. He's got track position. He's not really fighting anyone. All he's got to do is keep the car clean. If the cars in front have any issues, he'll be there to capitalise, and if not, he'll be getting a well-earned P5 in my opinion. But just behind them though, P6, P7, Dobrev and Madrick, they're currently looking to possibly trade positions here. Currently 0.4 of a second separating the two of them. Not close enough for a move into the first chicane, but I wonder if Madrick is going to try and line up the exit and try and get a run into the second chicane here at Monza. Gets a decent exit, but not enough in my opinion to be able to mount a charge. Yeah, 0.6 of a second, that gap's not really coming down.
Let's go back to the good doc. I think there's a bit of a 2.8. I think he's closing there, and then as we look, he's on his fastest sector.
Yep, doing a great job there. Best lap currently from him at 49.5, which in all honesty is a very good lap here around Monza with these cars. So definitely a good job from him there to get the car to go the way it is, for lack of better terminology. Yeah, also another bloke that's currently in no man's land is just he can see the cars in front. He knows he wants to be with them, fighting for that P6 spot. But yeah, he's just I think right now it's not about pushing the car too hard for good doc. It's just about bringing the tyres in nicely, not overheating them. And hopefully towards the end of the stint, if these two in front of them keep fighting, he'll be able to sort of catch up and make easy moves on them.
Yeah, and Malevolent One, he's gaining time hand over fist over Laminator, who's been running a little bit wide, putting a bit of gravel up on the track, so I'd say on fresh tyres he'll have him very shortly, and it's on now.
Yeah. Laminator here holds the inside line. He might be able to defend it possibly, goes deep under brakes. Oh, they're making a bit of contact there through the apex of the corner. Laminator keeps the position. Malevolent One though lives to fight another day. 0.5 of a second covering those two cars. Probably not enough length in the straight to slipstream back past, but if Malevolent One can get a good run out of the first chicane, he'll be close enough for the second. As Good Doc's been reset, he's had an off at T1 there, and ooh, he's cut that first chicane massively. He might get a penalty for that one. We'll wait and see though. I could be very wrong here. And he may have gone away with it. Okay, not
lost
bad.
a lot of time in the chicane, so let's have a quick look at Daz. I think Daz is on the alternate strategy where he came in from memory at the end of lap 7.
Lap 6, 7, 1 or 2.
How's his fuel and tyres looking like?
Currently, his tyres probably about that half worn sort of mark on the left-hand side, maybe a touch more, and a bit above half on the right-hand side. And fuel is a touch under half a tank currently. So I'm very curious to see what strategy he's running here. It's a very unique one, but wait and see how it pans out. Maybe there's something we're missing here, and he's actually pulling a blinder, but let's wait and see.
Yep, so back Prua's moved into P3. So Keza's had a moment, he's back to P4.
Yes, he has. Wow, Kez to P4. And it was last lap there, 1 minute 55 lap time last time around. So yeah, he's had a major moment somewhere. He's still there, only 5 seconds off the lead.
And that's the dramas of looking at cars around the track map. You've got a lot of markers, close markers, and there's a lot of battles there. So apologies, guys, we missed that, but
unfortunately we are only human. We can only catch what we can catch. We will try and do better next time and catch all the action for you guys wherever possible. But yeah, with this field spread out as it is, it can be difficult to get an idea of who's where and what they're doing.
Yeah, Prua's on fastest lap through that sector.
Pruski, Mr. Wide Hips, he is putting on a show, sorry.
Yeah, and 0.9 of a second over 2 laps. He's gained on the leader, on Killer.
It's not a bad effort, really. And for reference there, last time around, everyone's sort of like best laps. Killer on the list did a personal best at 48.7, Nemesis did a 49.3, Prua with a 49 dead, and Keza with a 49.3. So yeah, definitely Killer's had a good last lap out. Killer might be able to sort of start pulling the gap here as he flies on the exit of the Iscara chicane. That'd make for a great shot, but unfortunately doesn't do very good for your lap times or your tyre wear. Yeah, this top four still very close together here. Like it's not over, and like we said previously, Nemesis has got a slight fuel advantage. It has a little bit dissipated a fair bit, so that gap between him and Killer should come down a little bit when they do their next pit stop. But yeah, right now it does seem that Killer is doing a great job here. Currently on the top four, he is the second best on fuel behind Nemesis.
Yeah, and that'll definitely come into play, and it's just not over 1 pit stop, it's over probably 2 to 3, because you're carrying that fuel advantage. You're only refueling for what you need, and you do carry that advantage through. So on that last stop, that's where the time can add up. Yeah,
that can without a doubt. I'll be keen to see when they do their next pit stops in approximately, what's that, if they're 13 laps in, they'll be in for another one around about lap 27 to 29, possibly.
26.
26, okay, my apologies. 26 to 28, that's what I meant to say. Wait and see what they do there. Currently though, you've got 4.2 seconds covering your top 4 and 2 seconds covering your top 3, so this is, in the words of Mark Scaife, it's tight at the top. Nemesis though, still holding that fastest lap there at 48.3, which is very good there to see that no one's actually touched that for his sake. Everyone seems to be doing personal best lap times, as, oh look at that, Killer's had a major, Nemesis is much. Now just look at the bloody time deltas, we can see the gap in with our own 2 eyes here.
And Prua's right up there too.
Yeah, after Prua's spin, he's back in the game. Kaz is there too, ready to capitalise if these guys get a bit too touchy-feely. Killer holds on to the lead for the time being, but we do know that Nemesis' car is an absolute missile in a straight line. So I'll wait and see what he can do here. Prua's got the old double slipstream here, the old double suck. Let's see if he can try and make something happen here. Opts did not go for it, okay.
He's making the 270k work.
That he is. Nemesis to the inside of Killer. Deep under brakes, bit of contact through the corner. Gets the move done. Killer gets a little bit loosey-goosey there.
Oh, Prua's got up the inside.
There you go. From first to third in 2 corners there for Killer. Yeah, unfortunately, Killer just not having the best lap last time around, and that chicane just, unfortunately, didn't do him any favours. But right now, you got 9 tenths of a second gap between your top 2 cars. A further 4 tenths back, I should say, to P3. The gap now between Keza and the lead is 2.5 seconds, so that gap has come down dramatically. Yeah, this now for the top 4. It's going to go to the end of the race, I reckon. These guys they're putting in some very consistent laps, and they're not really sort of doing anything wrong with the way they're driving. And they've all got pretty similar cars beneath them, tyre and fuel-wise. We do know that Nemesis did do that 14 laps down at the start, so hypothetically, his tyres for the rest of the race on average should be better from now on.
At the end of each stint, absolutely.
Yep. And right now, with him having the lead of the race, that's just more points in favour of him. He's got better tyres and track position. He's the best of both worlds. As I've got Laminator there, unfortunately, having a moment. Was Laminator? Sorry, no. Killer, I think. Killer had a moment. Yes, Killer had a moment at the Ascari chicane. He's now back to 7 seconds off the back of Nemesis in the lead and 4.5 behind Keza. Keza's up to P3 now.
We'll see if we can capture that. Yeah, just wide on the curb there, on the green, on the AstroTurf.
Ah, the old AstroTurf, the
Another victim.
deadliest thing in the world. Right now, though, gap between your top 2 is starting to close a little bit. Now, less than 9/10 of a second. We do know that Nemesis is driving a slippery missile of a car, so the gap is going up ever so slightly, but Pruitt is getting the most out of the corners. Try and sort of mitigate that loss he's feeling on the straights currently. As he goes 2 turns purple through the first sector, Pruitt. Oh, he's on a tear here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, really important stint. If he can get to the pits, what have we got, about 6.5 minutes, 3 laps, if maybe. If he can get to the pits around that 4 laps, sorry. In P1, he's in a really good position with his fuel usage and outright lap pace to be able to manage this race quite strongly.
Yep. I think, yeah, unfortunately, Nemesis, that fuel advantage he did have at the start, he has lost ever so slowly. He's still got like a touch of an advantage there, but it's only going to be, I reckon, possibly maybe half a second at most over Pruski behind him. He will have a good advantage over Keza, but Keza's also 3 seconds behind currently, and Killer's a further 6.5 seconds behind Keza. Wait and see though, lap 23. We're currently 42 minutes into this race here, ladies and gentlemen. Second round of pit stops shouldn't be too far away. Yeah, look, and so far, I will admit, my prediction at the start has gone a bit haywire. I've gotten 2 cars right, but unfortunately, Brev, with that moment at the start, it has dropped down to P6, but he's still in the hunt for P5. Actually, I'm just looking at that. He's actually caught up to P5 here. The gap that was roughly 6 seconds back from P-Pops and Debrev there has come down to 1.5. We might have another battle here for the back end of the top 5 here between P-Pops, Debrev and Madrick, sort of starting to boil here.
Yeah,
gaps are coming down.
I can't see anything dramatic. He's Petey Pops has had a couple of laps in the 151, so it could just be a matter of just being a little bit off song for a lap, or just a couple of minor indiscretions over a series of 2 laps.
Yeah.
And that's
maybe
been enough.
The possibility could be driving to a number here. Maybe he's just trying to sort of conserve his tyre life rather than pushing it and having like X amount of good laps and then Y amount of bad ones. Just have all your laps be a certain number that you know is consistently good. And right now it's working here. He had to open that gap back up just over 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, and Debrev's got his mirrors full of Madrick at the moment.
Yeah, so that's playing right in the hands of P-Pops here.
Yeah.
He doesn't look back too far just yet with the 2 cars behind him fighting tooth and nail for that infamous and well-renowned P6. Not really.
Yeah, it's still a pretty solid position to be at towards the end with double points on offer, but I'm sure they'll be fighting for sheep stations when they get there.
Yeah, I've just seen as well, Gerd, action replay banners are still on the screen, mate.
That'll be operator error.
Yep, that's all good. I just saw that in the comments on the stream, so thank you to
Thanks,
Robert
Rebs.
Rice for pointing that one out. We'll get that fixed up straight away here.
Too many screens to look at.
We're men. We can only multitask so hard, us men.
So Prua's inked out nearly 2 seconds on Keza, and he's now under a second for Nemesis. So
And
2 laps before
Keza nearly lost it, almost found the grass there, just did a wheel spin on the exit of the first chicane, managed to hit the anchors and keep on the black stuff, but lost a load of time there.
Yeah, and they're within 2 laps of a pit stop too, so those tyres, especially that left rear, will be screaming.
Yep. Yeah, one thing I will say though, unfortunately for Nemesis, that fuel advantage he had, it's gone now. That is null and void. So he did take a bit more fuel on. He did lose a bit of track position, but overall, yeah, he's not really got much of an advantage over Pruitt here. The only thing that's really sort of his saving grace is the fact that he's done his 14 lap stint and taking his medicine early. But yeah, not the best work there from Nemesis. Maybe, who knows, might be able to do something here and get that gap.
Got a problem with that gap's opened up 2 seconds. Actually, I think Prua's got a problem. There's a tech problem there.
Yeah, actually, hazards are flashing.
Yeah.
No, he's back now.
Back.
Okay, must have a little technical error. But car's going right now. Gap's opened up to 3 seconds though, so definitely not
Keza
good.
back into it after
Yeah,
that
brought
little
Keza back in. Let play Nemesis off the hook a little bit, as we should see most of these boys, maybe not Nemesis, but most of these boys should be coming in for their next stop this lap.
Yep, lap 26, right on the 40, around the 48-minute mark is the key.
So yeah, currently tyre-wise, or tyre and fuel-wise, your top 2 cars, there's not much between them currently. There's not much of a real advantage or deficit. Kez is definitely the worst off on fuel currently, probably down by about 5 to 10% on 2 cars in front, so he's going to fall a bit further behind when they do their pit stop. And Killer is probably halfway in between that. Oh, actually, no, he's about on the same sort of mark as Pruitt and Nemesis, so he should find some time on Keza during the next stop, but probably not 4 seconds. He might be able to find me 1.5 or 2. That's probably about it though for him.
Yes, Pruitt's already started to claw that gap.
Speaking of clawing gaps, so the gap between P-Pops and P5 and Dobrev and P6 has come down to under a second here. Madrick has come along for the ride too. We've got a World Championship out of the P5 brewing.
And
good to see all the boys here. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, if they all pit at the same time, it'll be really interesting how much fuel they take on and whether they do anything in the settings for track position.
Yeah, it's going to be keen to see.
Go a little bit light or a little bit heavy and getting behind on the slipstream.
It's going to be tough to call. Personally, for me, I'm not the kind of bloke to put in extra fuel generally to sort of mitigate. Or not mitigate, but do a short stop later. I'll generally just put in the fuel I need to get me to the next pit stop, and then that's it. Try and keep the car as light as possible. But right now, someone like Dobrev could possibly put in a bit more and still get away with it. As Keza comes in, first to blink on lap 26,
and Pruitt's doing his 14 laps, and looks like Killer is on this stint as well.
Nemesis also doing another 14 lap stint, which is interesting, but look, if the plan works, the plan works.
No, he did 14 first time, so I think 13 will take him to lap 27.
Oh, my apologies, you're right, sorry, yep, thank you. I am talking out of my bunghole, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, now, so we should see Pruitt and Nemesis be on the same strat from now on, doing 13 lap stints to the end from next time they box. Killer will be in the same boat. Keza still got 14 laps to go, as he gets passed by Good Doc on the exit of the pit lane there. Not good for Keza there, going to have a car in front of him with some very worn tyres. That might hold him up ever so slightly.
Yeah, so very close on the pit exit. Little bit of difference between up to about 8% in fuel between the drivers, but not a lot. The magic number seems to be about that 76 mark.
Yeah, I think I've just seen as well, you also had your P-Pops, Dobrev and Magic also pit last time round, and I don't want to say I'm a fortune teller, but Dobrev did take on the most fuel just then. As the yellow flag, someone has lost it. at the Ascari chicane, I think. I didn't quite see who there, and I'm very mad at myself. I just saw the yellow flag flying. It might be a malevolent one here, possibly. But I missed that completely, sorry ladies and gentlemen. As Nemesis into the pit lane, Prua into the pit lane. 2-second gap, 2-litre advantage in favour of Prua. So that gap should come down, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Prua to jump Nemesis in the pits unless Nemesis takes extra fuel.
And Petey Pop's challenging Malevolent One into Ascari.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's one of the trickier corners on the track to do it. Yeah, so P1 to 3 are the first, I think, to have done their 14 laps.
Yep, they certainly have. They've done their 14 lap stints. Kazza's just around in the last corner now. Down the main straight he goes. He will probably come out in front of Kazza here, I believe. Yes, he will. Well and truly in front of Kazza. And look at the gap between Prua and Nemesis. There's nothing now. Yep. Oh, but Prua's had a bad launch out of the first chicane there, and all that gap he just got back, gone. Null and void. Ooh. And yeah, nah, Nemesis there took on more fuel once again. So he's gotten very, very sort of good there. Take on the extra fuel, and he's still maintaining that gap. So
and
right
still
now,
the fastest lap.
Still the fastest lap.
28 laps in. Yep.
You think by this point with the sun going down, the boys would have picked up the pace, but no, they're still doing a bloody sort of good job. Not a good job, but Nemesis is doing a good job here to sort of keep that fastest lap. But yeah, nah, look, right now the ball is in Prua's court here. He's got to try and sort of close that gap up and possibly bridge a gap in front of Nemesis here at some point in the near future, because yeah, he's got no advantage at this point in time. They're on the same strategy, 13 laps since to the end. Nemesis has got a fuel advantage. He's got track position. Oh, I could be wrong, but I think this might be this could be Nemesis's first race win here at Sector 1. If he were to continue on.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong race from him, and how the dynamics can change. I'm pretty sure it was Petey Pops we called that was managing a gap of around 8 seconds either side of him. He's got 4 tenths back to Debrev, who's looking very racy at the moment, and yeah, 9 seconds behind Killers. So the field's compressed somewhat through those pit stops.
They certainly have. Yeah, still got cars at different parts of the track here, but yeah, no, definitely has compressed, which I think it's compressed in a good way as well for people like Debrev and Nemesis who've taken on more fuel, but they've gotten the advantage of sort of like time on the cars in front or time away from the cars behind in the case of Nemesis. As Debrev here looks to the inside, gets a nice little slingshot effect on Petey Pops, hard on the anchors into the first chicane. Petey Pops doesn't fight too much about it. Debrev through to P5.
Yeah, great racing room given there, and that's also brought Madrick into the battle. He's only 1.4 behind. He's noticeably closed in that last lap.
Oh, definitely has. And right now, if Petey Pops was a smart man, I think at this point he'd probably look at working together with Debrev here, possibly trying to sort of pull away a little bit, or he may even say a bit behind the car in front, and try and not fight too hard.
And they do have there's plenty of time left in the race to pull that 8 seconds back to Killer if they work together.
Yeah, well and truly is. And the cars in front have all been having their own side, so definitely nothing's impossible here. As the gap between Killer and Kazza is only 1.5 seconds, so if the guys in your P5, 6 and 7 sort of pull their fingers out and not do anything too stupid, they could be in this fight for the podium here.
Yeah, and that gap to Kazza, he was sort of managing it, but it has closed several tenths since the pit stop, so I think Killer, as he gets later into the stint, will certainly be fighting for P3. And,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and Prua's down to 1.6, so he was back out to about 2.9 after that, poor drive out of the first chicane.
Yeah, just comparing last lap times there as well. Even though the gap is closed on that last lap, Nemesis pulled 1/10 on Prua that time around. So not a lot, but enough to make Brewer say, I've got to do more here, and I've got to try and bridge that gap a bit further.
Yeah, and he's doing that with fastest lap so far.
Yep,
Or fastest,
3.5
on the way to a
tenths
fastest lap. Yeah.
3.5 tenths purple through the first sector, which is utterly bewildering. That is absolutely sensational pace, considering that they haven't got a tailwind here going on the main straight. In fact, they've got like a nice headwind, sort of pushing them sort of the opposite way. They get a little bit of advantage on the run down to the Parabolica, not as much as he would if the wind was facing the opposite way, so to speak.
Wind's actually getting a bit stronger, so it's definitely going to impact on the braking area into Ascari and certainly the Parabolica, but I'm pretty sure the race started about 1.2 metres a second, so it has got a bit stronger.
Yeah, hopefully that means there isn't blowing any weather in. I think and myself included, don't want any sort of rain here. Keep it nice and dry for the boys, I reckon, weather gods, if you're listening.
Fingers crossed. It shouldn't.
Yeah, on that
it was a fine forecast, so.
And on that lap there, really, I'm just looking at the gap. Pruitt didn't find too much on Nemesis. Still 1.6 seconds there between the two of them. So really, their pace is dead even. Yeah, right now their last laps there were separated by hundreds, like piss all between them.
Yeah, really strong drive by Nemesis.
Yeah, really showing his form, because generally, I think from memory, he hasn't had too much in the way of sort of podium finishes, I believe. So to see him leading the race and like showing like speed above the cars around him, it's good to see from Nemesis here to sort of like sort of break through. Keza though has pulled a nice little gap on Killer now, 2.9 seconds. I think Killer must have had a little issue in the last lap there. Yeah, no, last lap time of 1:50. He's had some major error somewhere. Nemesis also had a moment. That gap's now 1 second here, ladies and gentlemen. The battle for the lead is about to spice up here. Pruitt gets a nice run on the run to the chicane, finding little increments of time. Gap still at 1 second. Here's going to be the last of the late breakers here.
Yeah, Nemesis, he's withstood the... Well, that was a tight line across there. He's withstood the pressure in previous laps, but when you've got someone of Pruitt's calibre behind you, it can be a bit unnerving.
Oh, absolutely. He'd be looking not more, but he'd be looking as much in the mirror as he would like forward at the track coming up.
And that's
that gap,
3/10 just sits Lesmo.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pruitt didn't get the best exit onto the main straight here, and the gap has gone back out to a second. But yeah, comparing times there, Pruitt found 0.6 of a second that time around. So yeah, he's definitely putting the hammer down now. Oh, Mr. Prusky.
Just going back, it looks like we've got a few cars. Yeah, Madrick has closed up. He's under a second now behind Petey Pops.
Yep. Yep, yes, Debrev has also extended that gap away from the two of them by about 2 seconds, or near enough to it. So yeah, P-Bop's here about to have a fight with another fast driver here from Black Rose Racing. It's unfortunate for P-Pops hasn't got that slipstream in the car in front.
Madrick just had a bobble there, so it's giving him a couple of seconds back. Just having a look on the map, might just head back up to P2. Still sitting at that 1 second mark.
Yeah, Nemesis here, really showing a bloody good drive here from Nemesis. Yeah, like I said, gap's still 1 second, and the gap isn't really changing too much. Other than little bits where Nemesis unfortunately will have like a little sort of boggle through like Lesmos or Scurry Chicane or whatever. But other than that, his pace is pretty well similar to behind him.
Yeah, it's sort of going to make for a very interesting second and third stint, because barring mistakes, they're not going to let each other out of their sight. So, and I suspect Pruitt is just Nemesis a little bit wide there on braking, but yeah, I'm sure Pruitt is just balancing things up. He's driving, I think, to a plan here. He's not overly attacking.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately from Nemesis, that little bit of sort of turn left on a straight type action, which is a very not recommended strategy, unless your name is John. John's good with that sort of stuff. But yeah, now the gap's now half a second. Slipstream range has been engaged. So yeah, now Pruitt is really hounding the back of him here.
And this is Pruitt's strongest sector 2 through the race. He's opened purple through here and flashing the lights.
Yep, try to distract him as best he can. Nemesis holds the inside line, goes back to the outside racing line.
And purple again.
Wowee, with that slipstream, I'm sure there'd be like a big purple as well, like surely a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, given Keza the chance just to close up a few tenths.
Yeah, no, lovely to see from Keza, still plodding along here, getting a nice, hopefully nice little P3 for the guys at BSR. Yeah, right now, Kez's probably hoping that these two start going too wide through most of the corners, because the moment they do, that gap between him and the top two will just disappear.
We'll just stay with this battle for a bit, and then I'll just run through the field and give everyone an idea of what times are between the different drivers, what gaps, but we'll just see what Pruitt does. 6 tenths, well and truly in the slipstream. And Keza's picked up nearly a full second on that lap.
Not bad from Keza there to pull up nearly a full second at that rate. He'll be with him in a few laps' time. But yeah, 6 tenths of a second covering your top two. Slingshot, slipstream has been engaged. The gap is coming down, not very quickly though. Pruitt's going to have to go for one of the most massive sends in the world, or he's going to have to settle in and try and make a move another point. Gap now 4.5 tenths on the anchors. Can't make it stick.
And it's the first time I've seen Nemesis go even. Nemesis
Nemesis
is wide.
goes wide, very wide. Oh, that's the change of the lead here, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Pruitt now in the lead, Nemesis in the P2. While that isn't good for Nemesis, he has still got that fuel advantage. It's not much, but it's enough to hopefully sort of close that gap back up to Pruitt in front.
And he's definitely shown the speed to be able to do that. I was going to say down the straights, first time I've seen him even remotely defensive. So maybe all that headlight flashing.
Yeah, he got intimidated by Mr. Whitehips himself.
Yep. What I think we'll do, guys, we'll just quickly go through the field. So we got 1.6 from Pruitt and Nemesis. Further 1.5 back to Keza. Now that was through Nemesis, a little off into the gravel there. It was around about 4 seconds. Keza to Killer, 4.3 seconds. Killer to Debrev, 8.7. Debrev to Petey Pops, 1.6. Petey Pops to Madrick, 0.3. So we'll go back to that battle in a sec. Madrick to Good Docs, 19, nearly 20 seconds there. Good Doc to Lemonator, 2.5. Lemonator to Malevolent One, 9.5. And Malevolent One to Daz, 27.6. So we'll just quickly go back to this battle with Madrick and Petey Pops, down to 2 tenths, so he's definitely on the charge.
Yeah, nah, Madrick here, as Petey Pops goes defensive into the Parabolica, Madrick trying to sweep around the outside, can't make it stick, but what it has done here, it's slowed up Petey Pops on the run down to this first chicane. Petey Pops going immediately onto defensive, hugging that inside line. As Madrick does his personal best lap of the race of a 48.9. Madrick trying to sweep around the outside. Petey Pops still along side by side. Both go deep under brakes. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. As Petey Pops off. Oh, half spins it. Collects it, carries on.
Yeah, managed to hold it.
Wow. I'll have to see what happened there. The stewards' pens are clicking, I'm sure. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks like a bit of contact between the two of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, a very hard braking zone, especially as your tyres start to get worn with their 8 laps into it, so a bit over halfway during their stint. Just might be worthwhile checking if I can find Daz. Has he had his second stop yet?
He judging by the look of his tyres, yes, he would definitely have had at least another stop. Unless he is a tyre whisperer, which, look, he very well might be. But like he'll have to be whispering sweet nothingness to those tyres to get in the last. If he hadn't pitted yet. No, he would have done his second stop by now. That's definitely,
Yeah.
well, possibly third, I should say. Still P11 there, 28 seconds to his teammate in the level 1 in P10. Lap times aren't too bad, currently sitting in the low 50s. Not bad time there really, or 51s I should say. He's doing a good job there, just plodding along, getting some valuable team points for the guys at Switchblade Sim Sports. I'll be keen to see though what's happening to Jim Bob, because he was at one point sort of fighting for the back end of the 10, but yeah, now he's just, yeah, he's right off the back of the pack here, 22 seconds behind Daz and P11. I can't see any sort of abnormalities, other than the bloody pit stops, of course.
Yeah, lap 31, 155, so he's had a bit of a moment there.
As he has another one as I'm watching
yeah.
it here. Yeah, unfortunately through the second chicane, just got a bit too ambitious on the curb.
And getting the blue flags. Blue flags do come on early here at this track, but they'll certainly start to be showing on the screen.
Yeah, I think it's he won't worry about it yet, Jim Bob. He's got approximately I'll say 3 seconds or so to the race leader in Prua. So he'll be fine for another few laps before he has to sort of vacate the racing line to let Prua through. But yeah, it's going to show up early. That's just the way the stewards and the race marshals here work. Thank you, Polyphony Digital, for the excellence that you have provided us. Yeah, I think the gap though between Prua and Nemesis has come down a little bit now, 1.4 seconds. I think it was above 2 at one point, I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was, and I'm just looking where Keza is coming in on this as well. So Nemesis has been able to hold that gap, but yeah, it's 3.2 seconds for the podium here. So there's all 3 drivers are well and truly in it. It's only a minute mistake on any one of them can change the destiny of the race.
I think right now, currently, hang on a second, after I was raving and ranting on about Nemesis before having the fuel advantage, the tables have turned. Prusi's gone on the fuel saver now. He's got the fuel advantage. Ooh, that's... Hopefully Nemesis, hopefully his team can point out that information to him to let him know that he's going to have to either back it off and try and get that fuel margin back, or absolutely make a move on Prua sooner rather than later. But yeah, right. Your best person on fuel currently in the top 3 is Prua.
Yeah, seems like he's using his fuel to only manage the gap. It's sort of fluctuating between that 1.7 seconds. That said, Nemesis has made some good inroads on this lap, and still making them.
Considering as well, Nemesis has got the more worn tyres out of the 2 of them currently. Maybe he's just using more car to be able to catch up. But yeah, right now he's just about in slipstream range here. If he can just get a nice run through the Ascari chicane, he'll have a good little tow through the next 2 long straights here at Monza.
Yeah, 2/10. Where did that time go?
Well, yeah, what a run from Nemesis here. Pulls to the inside, Prua doesn't fight too hard. Deep under brakes, Prua trying to sweep around the outside here, maintain that position. Seems to be doing it so far. Racing room has been left, but I think Nemesis has got the job done here. I thought he had a bloody box for a second there, the way he was driving, but stays out, gets the lead. Prua sells in for P2, gets into the slipstream as soon as humanly possible. Starts to catch back up, looks at the inside line, can't make it happen though, not this time around. Guesses a drop off a little bit to the cars in front, now 3.5 to Prua in P2 and 4 seconds to the lead. Killer's also dropped off a little bit too there, currently 3.5 seconds behind Keza, but still doing a good job to get a nice P4, to be in P4 I should say.
That gap has come down by a second, and he's managed the gap back to Debrev. It hasn't really changed that much, but definitely made 7-8 tenths on Keza in P3. And we're starting to get into that pit lap window again. Lap 39 if you were running 13s, but these guys have done a 14 in it, so lap 40.
Yep, possibly, maybe, yep, so lap 39 to 40, possibly 41 if people do something weird. We should see some more pit stops coming in. And judging by the tyre wear of the cars around on the track currently, they're probably due for one pretty soon because those tyres don't look very pretty on. Alright, but yeah, other than Daz, all the cars here on the strategy as it appears, no real variation. As a commentator, you know, it's a shame to see no real variation, but hey look, the boys got to do what they feel is best for their race, not what's best for entertainment. I understand that.
And look, I guess it's the time differential on trying to preserve both fuel and tyres, also combined with that long pit run. Yeah, it can, short pit run. It can sort of take the gloss off that 3-lap strategy.
Yeah.
I know I practiced it a few times.
Yeah, no, I think I did see a few of the boys I was talking to practice it. But yeah, no, I thought for the longest time they were saying that's the go, but yeah, no, come race day, all of them looked at that 4-stop. Nemesis is starting to flash the headlights. That Jim Bob in front of him. Gap's currently, what's that? Roughly 1.5 or 2 seconds. I'd say Nemesis shouldn't be flashing those headlights. He's getting a slipstream to get away from Prua if Jim Bob's in front of him. As Nemesis there goes 2/10 purple on his best time through the first sector.
And Prua behind him, purple on top.
Okay, so in sensing a trend here, everyone got the first circuit done well, but they just can't get the rest of them. Interesting. Yes, Jim Bob pulls over, get on him, lets the cars through. He's going to pull over again soon for Kezo and not try and hold him up too much, but wait and see how he does that. Yeah, Prua just outside slipstream range. He might be getting a little whiff of a little toe. Not much currently. Breaking into the Ascara chicane, both cars turn in. Prua gets a nice line through there. No wheel spin, no understeer, no oversteer, just drives. But the car is stuck to the ground and you can tell the gap's now 0.3 of a second, 2/10. Prua's going to go for a move here, ladies and gentlemen. Strap on in.
And these, here we go, under brakes.
Looks at the inside, holds it. Nemesis doesn't want to give up too easy, but unfortunately he has to, I think.
Yeah, Prua's going to have good drive through here.
Prua's just got the lead, but there's nothing in it. Sells him behind. There you go. New leader is Pruski. Nemesis sees the inside line. Will he break deep? He does break deep. Takes the lead back just like that. Prua trying to do a switchback but can't get himself on the apex as the Brev stops on lap 39. So he's still got his 14 laps in to go, same with Madrick.
Yeah, and these guys, first and second, they pulled a gap a bit over 2 seconds out on Keza, so they're not hanging around at all.
While they're fighting, they're still dropping absolute masterful lap times here, which is a sign of a bloody good driver, or good drivers I should say, where you can go hell for leather and fight someone and still pull a gap on the cars around you.
So they should be thinking about pitting on this lap.
Yeah, there's definitely a lap for them. Yeah, Nemesis, yeah, his tyres and fuel probably wouldn't make it too much further. Prua probably could make it, but he has no reason to. He's already on his 14 lap stint, so 13's to the end for him to be.
Just shadow the first place getter. Only take on what you need, so you're running a light car and just go for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do like to take on the extra fuel, but I've just found as Jim Bob spins behind him. Ooh, yeah, just the AstroTurf, and just death. Unfortunately for him, as Dad also pits out P11. I speculate we should see Jim Bob in this lap. His tyres aren't looking the best either. Nemesis stays out.
Prua's
okay. Prua is in.
I think there's a real chance of an undercut here. Prua out on fresh tyres on his outlap.
Yep, and Prua has definitely got a fuel advantage over Nemesis here. So yeah, Prua's probably going to pull a nice little gap on Nemesis, I reckon, unless Nemesis underfuels, but that's not going to do him any favours if he does.
No, and
Kez is getting tired.
apart from the drivers being tired, we're essentially got 2 sprint races in an endurance race coming up.
Pretty much, yes. That's essentially what endurance races are these days. They're just a bunch of sprint races back to back to back to back to back.
So Prua's out in clean air.
Yeah, look at that. Gap is currently 29 seconds to Nemesis in the lead. Let's see if that gap comes down on the exit of this first chicane. See if he gets better traction with the fresh tyres. Actually goes up. Goes up to 30.3, 30.4. Unfortunately, Brewski not making the most of the fresh tyres beneath him, but the tyres could still be cold.
Yeah, and you do lose a little bit on that run out of pit lane into the first chicane. It's a slower run to the braking area, so Nemesis will have to go through that.
That's very true. Brewski there goes a bit deep into the second chicane there. Doesn't really get the best race in line, losing half a second to Nemesis. Tyres probably still aren't to working temp.
There's a big difference back to Keza there by about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Did he take more fuel on?
He certainly did take more fuel on, probably an extra maybe about 10 or so litres, give or take. So I wonder if Kezo's getting his 14 laps in out of the way now.
I thought he'd done it.
Yeah. Okay, if he did, I've missed that completely. I thought he was still due, but that could be wrong. My bad. Nemesis is in. Gap's 31.4. I think Nemesis here might come out side by side.
With, going to be very close. Very close.
Yeah, absolutely. Nemesis is in the box. Tyres are going on. Tyres are coming off. I've said that backwards. My dyslexia was kicking in. Prua's rounding the final corner here. Fuel still going in the car.
So you should go to low 70s. Oh,
it goes to the 80s, 89 litres. Yeah, that's definitely going to give Prua the lead, well and truly. Yep, there you go. There's Prua. See you later, alligator. But yeah,
it's
that's a massive.
That much fuel on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Nemesis is planning there, but interesting strategy call. But if he's able to close that gap to Prua, then he's pulled a masterstroke. He'll be getting the slipstream and have a fuel advantage. Provided he doesn't overuse the car.
And we've seen the guys tonight for the 13 laps, somewhere around that 72 to 76, and even I think it was Madrick took 70 on. So the guys improves back to purple in that first sector again. So I'm pretty sure he's thinking, he's obviously got a plan, but that was a lot of fuel, nearly 90 litres.
Yeah, I think I hope for his sake the extra weight isn't meant to feel unbalanced. Currently he has lost a little bit of time to Prua since starting this lap, but Prua's tyres were up a temperature while Nemesis' tyres were still cold. We'll wait and see when Nemesis finishes this lap and starts the next one where the pace is for him. See if he can possibly try and close that gap back up to Prua in front.
Oh, he's just a little bit wide there. He would have lost a bit of speed through that interim part of Ascari.
You're talking about Prua? Absolutely. Yeah, and right now that's advantage Nemesis there. If he can get close enough to get that slipstream and try and go on the rear bump, this could be, I'm not going to say race defining, but it's up there.
Well, if he can slip, if he stays behind him, like very close and can slipstream, get the benefit of it, with that extra fuel and a fuel save, that makes for a significant undercut on the last stop.
That definitely does. Gap is now less than a second between your top two cars. God. It's good to see we actually had like a decent battle going on for most of the race here for the lead, as well with the rest of the field here. Like normally most people will see endurance racing and everything sort of spreads out, but these boys here, they're all so matched and running very similar strategies. It's good for us commentators to be able to call the action and actually have something happening.
Yeah. We've got a few cars bunching up. I think it must be around position 6, 7. Madrick on Debrev, down to 1.2 seconds.
Pops there also must have a moment, because actually no, sorry, he's not. He's put a boatload more fuel in. He is 9 seconds behind, but he's got a massive advantage over the two cars in front.
Yeah, which should see it come. Actually, Madrick's gone purple in the first sector there. which we should see come back into play after the next stop. As long as he only takes on enough to finish the 13 laps.
I'd say for P-Pops here, 9.3 second gap, he hasn't got enough fuel advantage to shrink that gap to 0. But I'd say if he puts in enough fuel just to get him out of trouble for the next stop, he should bring that gap down into the 6s, possibly the 5s, I reckon.
Yeah, and looking at 20 seconds behind the leader for Madrick, they're probably not going to get they'll probably finish at lap 65. They won't run the extra lap based on previous races, but it's just a bit early to tell that yet. So
yeah, I'll wait and see. Anything's possible here at Sector 1 Sim Racing. Maybe if they pick up their pace as in the last couple of stints here. Now the sun has gone down, the track will be as optimum sort of temperature, no UV, lap times hypothetically should be coming down. But right now, that 48.3 for Nemesis hasn't been touched from the start of the race, which is astounding in my opinion.
yeah, and with this we got Killer. He's 6.3 back from Keza, 8.5 in front of Debreb, managing that gap. He's very well placed, and if anything happens to 3 in front, he's going to be right there very quickly.
Absolutely will be. It's the only thing I will say is that he is running like not the most fuel out of the 3 cars in front of him, but he's not running either. Yeah, currently, yeah, Prua is the one that's most fuel compromised currently. But yeah, Nemesis is probably overfueled to an extent, and then Killer and Keza are running pretty much the exact same car beneath them. It's going to be interesting to see. I'd say really if anything, Prua might fall back, and Nemesis might go forward, and then Keza and Killer should stay exactly where they are. Big.
Yeah, and that gap from Keza to Nemesis has come down a little bit again. So that's Nemesis, that fuel, carrying that extra weight of fuel, I think. So Keza's on his fastest lap at the moment.
I'll wait and see as these guys cross the line, see what lap times they deliver for us. But right now, all the cars here in your sort of top 4, top 5 have been very consistent with their lap times. Been absolutely awesome to watch. Prua rounds the final corner here, comes up to the start finish line. Let's see what sort of lap time he can deliver here for us. 49.3, very respectable lap there. As Nemesis has a 48.9, so he's going to
He's catching, yep.
Keza done his personal best with 48.7. He's catching as well.
So fresh tyres, they're starting to come to the track now, so they're all very racy.
Yeah, Keza there with a 49. Not Keza, sorry, Killer, my apology. With a 49.6, so he's not out of the game, but that lap he loses a bit of time to the cars in front of him. But he's sort of matching the lap times of the 2 cars behind him, thankfully, so that means he's not really getting caught either, which is good for Killer.
Oh, Keza, he's had a moment there.
I just saw that too. He had a little sort of Tokyo Drift type moment.
Yeah,
so,
just looking at the chat, Carbon Boy Brewski keeping the blowtorch on, and he certainly is. And I've had a couple of race-long battles with him, and I know he won't give up. We've got Artsy, yep, shorter stop for Nemesis at the end. Great battle, Stranger agreeing, and yeah, as long as Nemesis can save that, keep the fuel usage in check, he's got the chance to definitely have an undercut here.
Yeah. Oh look, I've said previously that Nemesis has gone into the pits with a fuel so benefit. Oh, sorry, previous I should say. Our fuel benefit and then lost it. If he loses this fuel benefit, I'm not sure what to tell you. He is up by at least like 15 to 20 litres, I reckon. Like,
yep.
He has got a lot of fuel in hand to help him out for this last couple of stints of the race.
And I don't have the telemetry, but if he's in this slipstream range short shifting, that's what's on his mind. If he's revving it, he's still going to have a crack.
Look, I reckon Nemesis here, he'll be having a crack. He probably wouldn't know too much in regards to where Prua's fuel load is, but considering the gap right now is not even worth looking at the time, you can see it clear as day on your screens here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he'll be just looking at having a crack, trying to get that sort of lead and ideally pulling away, advantage or not. going to say we got a battle here, but it's just Jim Bob letting the lap cars, or letting the P5 and P6 go through as he's lapped by them. The gap between Dobrev and Madrick has come down to half a second here, so the battle for P5 isn't over yet. Very nice work here from these two. I'm not sure if anything happened to Madrick, but yeah, like we said before, Dobrev did have that spin at the start of the race, so to get back to P5 just shows how good his pace is currently on this Italian circuit here.
Well, these guys are doing lap times in line with the front of the field.
Yeah, so yeah, that's all you can ask for. That's all you need to do, really. Just match the guys at the front, and beat them ideally, but if not, match them. And hopefully, if they start to battle and make mistakes, you're there to capitalise when they fall back to you.
And considering they both had issues, they're 21 seconds adrift, which it's not a bad place to be in that sort of mid position 4 to 8 at the end. Valuable points in it, but you're also close enough that if there is some misfortune and you've been running your car right, you'll definitely pick time up.
Speaking of positions though, Nemesis tried to go for a nice little move on Pruski, couldn't make it stick though, grabbed too much curb, got a little bit loosey-goosey, but Nemesis here, yeah, no, we know for a fact now he's not saving fuel or any shit like that. He is going for that race lead. Please excuse my French, ladies and gentlemen.
And I believe it would be his first win in Sector 1.
Yeah, it definitely would be. I think he may have gotten the podium once or twice before, but I'll have to go through the record books to double check that one. But yeah, no, he's in a good shout here. Like, Nemesis doesn't need to fight too hard. He's got the car beneath him and the advantage. If he can just sort of stay where he is, even if he wants to take more fuel on for the next stop and then do a really short fill on the last stint, he'll get away with that. Which, really, the way he's driving, you nearly would. Keep Pruski in front of you, let him slipstream you forwards, don't let him get away, and then when you do that last stop, you'll be able to chuck in the smallest amount of fuel possible, get like a nice 4 or 5 second gap and just drive away.
Yeah, absolutely. And also too, this battle's been going pretty much all race, and even with you bring Keza in on that, and Killer, who aren't that far behind, they're now at the hour and 30 minute mark. So there's been some pretty intense concentration. Lap 47, they should be in for fuel around about lap 53. So they've got to start thinking about that and their timing and how much fuel they take. So this is the part of the race that gets really hard.
Yeah, I think most of the boys here, they've probably had a little sort of mental break between the sort of hour to hour and like 25 mark, just sort of settle into your rhythm. But now we're getting to the where, last pit stops are going to be coming up pretty soon. They're going to sort of want to focus on what to do to try and maintain a position or get further ahead compared to the cars around them. Nemesis there, unfortunately, having a really bad run on the exit of the chicane, and now the gap's out to 1.8 seconds there between himself and Prua. He's also brought the gap down between P2 and P3 of Nemesis and Keza down to 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out the carrying 10% extra fuel. It might be about a second. It's a refuel rate of 6, so yeah, my maths isn't that great, but he probably just needs to close that gap up a little bit before the pit stops, just to make it work. And but he's in with a show.
Yeah, I think right now Nemesis, he's got the pace to keep up. He's got the fastest lap for a reason, because he's got that raw speed in the race car beneath him. But yeah, and he actually gets a good run through that Scarra chicane there. Finds nearly half a second, a bit more than I should say.
It's probably the fastest part on the track for him. And they're coming up to a driver under blue flags. Is that Daz?
That's Daz, yep, in P11 there. The alternate strategy. I don't know how many pit stops he's done so far.
Yeah, but one thing Nemesis has to counter is the racecraft and experience of Prua. Yeah,
that's the reason why it's called White Hips.
Yeah, but he's been in these protracted battles over many a season, so he knows how to fight for it, and he won't give it up.
Yeah, I'm sure Brewer here, he would probably have an idea, I reckon, that the car behind him has got a fuel advantage. Being the car that done the undercut, he'll sort of like know what fuel number Nemesis put in as he was going down the pit straight there, and know where his was. So as he goes pedal through the first sector, so the first sector time from Nemesis and his best up there must have been the best, but the rest of that must have been just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, I think that Ascari is one of his strengths. What's that? 1/10. He's all over him.
1/10, 2/10. Doesn't get a good run out of second Lesmo. Well, actually, no, mid corner wasn't that good. Exit was great, actually. Gap's coming down now. Wouldn't go for a move yet, Nemesis, if you're thinking about it. Wait for the next straight or the after. Not close enough this time.
Oh, bit deep.
Bit deep, recovers it, bit squirrely.
Combination of losing the view of the apex and perhaps some dirty air there.
Yep, possibly as well that he might have a bit of red mist descending.
Yep.
For some unknown reason. Just seeing the car in front and wanting to be in front of him. And just you sort of push hard, and you push harder than what the car's really capable of. I'm guilty of it myself plenty of times. You just sort of go further than what the car can really do, and you sort of lose time or positions because of it. But now 2/10 of a second gap, closing. Nemesis pulls to the inside. Prusi's not going to fight it. Up alongside each other. Pruski, holds it. A bit of contact between the two of them.
I was going to say, hold my beer, they're going to hit, but no, they've kept it.
Ooh, yep, they've kept it together. Bit of advantage there for Prua, who's now got a 7/10 of a second gap over Nemesis.
Quickly go back, there was some action just a couple of drivers back. We've got Debrev has Madrick, no sorry, it's just Madrick and Debrev. They're still sort of fighting around that second and a half, 2 seconds mark.
Yep, still fighting for the last spot in the top 5 there. Yeah, no, I'm not sure if I mentioned it here as well, but the CP boys running the two-tone livery there, running, in this case for Debrev, black and yellow on one side and green and white on the other. I reckon it's turned out very nice for the car there.
Yeah, and look, we've got to give credit to the guys in Sector 1 that do livery. You know, these liveries are certainly not out of place in any other racing league, and if not, I think they're the best. But real life, you'd have liveries like this on your race cars. They're just sensational, the way that the guys have got it together. Yeah, world class.
So, you know, if anyone hasn't already, please go thank your livery lords. Praise be upon them for all their hard work and artistic abilities. Right now, the Nemesis closed the gap back up, 4/10 of a second coming onto the front straight. It might not be close enough for moving to T1. The gap's not really coming down here.
Gee, if I was Nemesis, a lap to go to the fuel window, I'd be maximising that fuel and live to fight in the last sprint race.
Yeah, but right now, Nemesis, he doesn't need to work too hard here. He's got a poor exit out of that first chicane, but he's still got a nice sort of fuel advantage, upwards of about 10 to 15 litres over Prua. So, like, unless Nemesis puts in a bit too much fuel in this next stop of his, he's got the lead of the race secured at this point in time. Also, Keza as well has closed up. It's now 2.7 seconds to Nemesis and P2. Killer's done the same. It's now 3 seconds between him and Keza. Killer Keza, I'm not sure if I said the same name twice there.
Yeah, and he was about 5 to 6 seconds back at one part, so he's coming into the game. We'll just have a quick look at his... You know, Keza's running 49s every lap, so there's nothing wrong there. Killer's dropped a...
Killer's in the 48s.
A couple of 48s and a couple of 3 low 49s, so he's on a charge.
Yeah, no, don't write off Killer and Keza, ladies and gentlemen. 6.7 seconds covering your top 4 cars after 51 laps of racing. this race isn't over yet. Yeah, Nemesis there, unfortunately, not getting the best lap this time around. 1.7 seconds covering himself and Pruitt in the lead. Let's see now, does anyone box early and possibly go for an undercut here?
If you were Nemesis, what would you do, Captain Muffin? Would you follow Brewer into the pits? Or would you do what he did last time and go one more?
I would follow him in.
Yeah.
Then that way you can sort of come at the same time as him. There's no undercut possibilities. You can just, everyone's on the cold tyre.
Yep.
And then with Nemesis got the fuel advantage as well. He'll probably come out in front unless he makes a major error with the fuel man and sort of miscommunications or any stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'd say come out at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, Pruitt starts put the hammer down here.
Yeah, it's out to 2 seconds. Yeah. And look, it's really hard if you're going for that extra lap. You're tempted to try and minimise any damage, but you're on 13 lap old tyres. So it's easy to make a mistake, pick up a penalty, although we haven't seen too many penalties tonight. The guys have been clean.
Yeah, it's actually been very good. I'm actually quite surprised. So there was a few sort of moves there with the ball. Would have got a penalty, but it must have been just within the track limits by a few pixels, so good on them for doing so.
Yeah, they might have had a total penalty limit of 300 in the first 3 races, got them.
Yeah,
I certainly got a few.
It's easy to do here. This track is known for it. Those chicanes, it's very easy just to grab a bit too much curb, and the stewards, they'll ping you for it.
Yeah, 2.3 seconds, so Brewer's sort of cementing a bit of a position here.
I think Brewer sort of realised what's happening here.
I think he'll go into the pits this lap, Brewer.
I reckon he's on for one more.
One more, sorry, 53. It'll be 53, yeah.
Yeah. One more from him, unless he's planning on doing... Well, if we're at 65 laps possibly for these boys.
I reckon the
he's doing.
Top guys might be one more.
Okay, right, yeah, so boxing this lap then. Yeah, Pruitt's still pulling away from Nemesis on this lap. Kez is coming in.
1.8.
Yeah. Currently, your fastest person out of the top 4 that last lap was Nemesis with a 50.1, but Killer wasn't too far behind with a 50.2.
And a 50.5 for Keza.
Actually, my apologies. Sorry, fastest last time around was Pruitt with a 49.9. My apologies. My eyes were deceiving me there. So
on 12 lap old tyres, that's a great time.
That's great, yeah, absolutely. As P Pops comes in for his final stop here on lap 52, I wonder if he's seen the writing on the wall. And
I think he'll be doing he'll be doing a 14 lapper on this last one. I can't recall him coming in to do that. He may have got that out of the way. But lap 52 is where if you're running 13s, that's where you'll be filling at lap 52.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll wait and see though what he does.
And ideally the time about 1:36, that gets you within the 24-minute window, so they're definitely within that.
Yep. No doubt. And Pruitt there's extending the gap even further, now 2.5 seconds. So while Nemesis has to with that fuel advantage, he's not going to have as much of a time sort of positive, so to speak, on his side now. I'm not sure if Pruitt's done enough to sort of maintain the lead after this next round of pit stops, but he's not going to be far off.
Yeah, I think half of that will go. I think he'll still come out at least second up. So Pruitt's in. Nemesis has gone around.
Interesting, okay. That's race defining, I reckon.
And Keza.
Kez's done the same. Well, Kez will be in this lap coming up. I wonder if he's just getting his 14 lap out of the way now, if he hasn't already.
And we got Brewer and Killer have mirrored each other, so it'll be very interesting to see where these two go, where it plays out in the top 4.
Yeah, this battle for the top 4 is not over. Like 6 seconds covering them last time I looked. 2 different strategies at play here. Brewer's out of the pits now. 23-second gap between himself and Nemesis in the lead. Nemesis still purple through sector 1, so he's not slowing down whatsoever. Keza has dropped a little bit of time now, 2.8 seconds to the leader currently in Nemesis. Killer, I think, has dropped a little bit of time there. Killer take a bit more fuel on.
Yeah, definitely 8 seconds.
Yeah, okay. I wonder if Killer is possibly thinking he might get the extra lap in and wants to try and sort of make sure he can make it.
Yeah, you do have to allow for that extra lap if you're in that top 5. Judge based on what the previous rounds have done. Certainly the top 3 have gone through, and I think on 2 occasions the top 4 or 5 went through for the extra lap.
Yep. I think Pruitt here, he's taken a decent bit less fuel than Killer behind him. I wonder if he's thinking that he's not going to be able to do a lap, because there's a decent sort of like maybe about 10% gap between the two of them.
Yeah,
very interesting.
The other part is when you're sitting in the pits with the refuel rate at 6, it goes into the car so quick that if you're fraction slow on that button, it's easy to overfuel.
As the top 2 cars come in there, Nemesis with 18 litres, Hezza with 8, off of 5, sorry. Brewer's just rounding the final corner now. Nemesis is in the box.
So we'll stay on board with Brewer and see where they come out.
Yep. Fuel's going in for Nemesis as we speak. Still topping up.
No,
72 litres, he's out.
It's close, definitely not 3 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a strange feeling here that Pruitt has short filled. Yeah, Pruitt has massively short filled here, possibly. Ooh.
Well, guys in the chat, help us. We're 1 minute 41, 30 seconds basically into the race. With lap times of 140, say an average of 150. Will we go 66 laps?
I'm getting some 2014 Bathurst here, Wingcup versus Market. The only difference being that Nemesis has let a race today, or has let a lap, I should say. And also as well, Killer has jumped Keza. I did notice that happening in the background.
Yeah.
Killer's on a charge.
But one thing about Pruitt, he has shown in this race the fuel savability.
That he has. And he's currently got track position.
Yep.
He's got, I wouldn't say he's got fuel, but he's got track position, and you can do a lot with that sort of thing. If he can just sort of maintain that gap while not overdriving the car and not using too much fuel, he's definitely on here to try and sort of secure this win, but he's going to have to work hard for it, I reckon, because he's currently about maybe 55 to 58% of fuel. He's not in the best of spots right now, considering that the car behind him is approaching the 65 mark.
Yeah, and what does it look like between Killer and Keza, given that change of position? Actually, I think Keza just had a moment. He's down to 7 seconds behind Killer.
Yes, I think.
And the replay is not cooperating.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I think Keza, I think, has that own. Yeah, because he's out here 2 minute 10 plus. Yeah, that's not a very good outlap. But yeah, fuel wise, Killer has got a touch less, but like Killer's running the same as Nemesis, so I'd say right now Keza might have just done a bit more fuel to cover his own bump.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, gap now 20 top 2, 2.3 is coming down ever so slightly.
218, Keza definitely had a moment on cold tyres. 218 was that outlap compared to a 209 for Killer.
Yeah, okay, right then.
So, because when I saw it on stream, it looked like about less than a second gap, and then it just exploded.
I think as well, I've got a strange feeling that something's happened to Madrick, because he was initially ahead of Petey Pops, and now Petey Pops has got 4 seconds up on him. Which is interesting, as Petey Pops there did his best lap of the race last time around, the 49.2, which is rapid pace, and he goes blue, goes personal best through the first sector this time around as well.
Much fuel difference between the two, Madrick and Petey Pops?
Currently, Petey Pops has got more, so he's got the track position and the fuel. So Petey Pops, yeah, he's pulled a blinder here, Petey Pops.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. Really solid position to finish after being crook for a week as well. I'm sure he won't be feeling the best at the moment.
Not at all. No, he's going to probably be canned down and watching that clock tick every second. If you're listening to this one, P Pops, mate, you've got 15 minutes to go, mate. Keep powering on. Gap is sort of stabilised between your top two currently, around about 2.6 seconds. Killer's gone fast lap of the race, 47.9. Oh my.
He's done a Danny Rick.
The Lightning Motorsports driver, he is not going down without a fight here. He wants to be in that fight for the win. P3 isn't enough for him, he wants more.
And he's closer to the front of the field than he's ever been in the race, 6.8.
Yeah.
Well, apart from the opening couple of laps.
Yeah, closest been for a while without doubt, definitely. Now let's see how he goes for the first sector here. Is he purple? No, but he's mashed his time. Oh, gets a bit squirrely through that chicane there, but manages to hold it.
Using every bit of track and then some.
Yeah, no, he's been efficient with his track usage, making sure that every inch is available to him.
Yeah,
the gap between, Nemesis and Pruitt is stable.
Yeah, Pruitt's doing a really... I think he'll be in a bit of a fuel save mode here too, trying to manage the gap, but I'm sure with what we've seen from Nemesis, what they're 3 laps out of the pit stops, as the tyres come to the car, I think we'll see him go for a charge. It's nothing to leave on the table in this stint.
Can confirm, Pruitt is doing a bit of short shifting, so he's definitely fuel saving. Nemesis, he's still revving the absolute tits out of the car.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll check a flag in 14 minutes, so he won't die wondering, Nemesis.
And for reference for you guys at home there, lap times last time around, Pruitt leading the race with 48.9, Nemesis and P2 with a 48.8, and Killer and the Loose with a 48.9. So the top 3 are matching each other essentially.
Yeah, that mishap by Kezo, it's put him in a clean, open track, clean track position. He's got a fairly healthy gap either side of him, so very well placed to bring that home in 4th.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do anything special here. Kezo just needs to just persevere, put the laps in, count down the clock, and
Yeah.
Unless the guys in front have some major sort of issue, P4 will be it for him.
Yeah, and Debrev in P5, 49.5 for the last lap. He's 4.7 seconds out of Petty Pop. Petty Pop was 4/10 quicker the previous lap, and he did his fastest lap of the race of 49.1, lap 56. So we'll keep an eye on that gap with Debrev. Madrick 5.2 seconds back. Again, low 49. Lemonator, he's got 30 seconds one side of him, 26 on the other. Looks like he had a bit of trouble on the last lap at a 54, but he's certainly well on the way to locking up 8th place. 11 at 1. This is a little bit interesting here. I saw it closing on the track map. He's 1 second ahead of the good docs. So we've got last lap 49.9 and good doc 49.7. So gradually inching away at that difference. Then Daz in 11th and 24 seconds back to Jim Bob.
Yeah, Jim Bob here, unfortunately, hasn't had the best race, but his pace is still good. Last lap out with a 49.4, which is on pace. We saw the midfield here in Division 4, so he's got the pace there to be up there with him. He just, unfortunately, luck wasn't on his side tonight. He's had a few minor moments that have all culminated in him being 2.5 minutes off the lead.
Yeah, Nemesis purple in that first sector again. I think he and Brewer have been trading blows through there the whole night.
Yeah, currently Brewer, he's meant to be saving fuel, but he's just extending that gap out even further. It was at 2.8 a second ago, now back to 2.6. 2.7 now. Yeah, I don't want to like jinx Brewer here, but I think he could really pull a bit of a wing cup and just going for it, and then gets to the last lap, realises he needs 1.5 laps of fuel, and the fuel tank's only got 1 lap. And And he's going to sort of get handed by Nemesis as Pruitt there goes 3/10 up on his personal best time. Not enough to fully challenge for the fastest lap of the race, but he's going to get very darn close to it this round. Pruitt hits the anchors, rounds the final corner here. Let's see what lap time he can deliver for us.
Yeah, still impressive lap short shifting. And look, with the guys down in the second half of the field, this track is unrelenting because it is so quick. If you do have a moment and you lose time off the track, it's exponentially greater because guys are just carrying such high speed as they're passing you. It's hard to get back up to speed, and the seconds just drip away.
Yep, absolutely it is. And Pruitt there now 3 seconds up. He's did his personal best lap of the race last time around with a 48.7. But yeah, no, he's just streaking away now, which his personal best lap just then was still slower than the lap that Nemesis did last time around. Not by much, but yeah, no. This goes to show you how sort of, I guess both how consistent Pruitt's pace has been as well as how quick Nemesis' absolute pace has been, so to speak.
Yeah, I still think Nemesis and Killer are positioned here that if it does go that, I'm sure it's 66 is the actual lap. If it does go to that, I think all bets are off.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Pruitt there still going up on his personal best time. So if he is short shifting, he's doing a really good job of it to short shift as well as still pull a gap on Nemesis behind. Now 3.3. Oh, Killer in the background there went very sideways on the exit of Ascari. He managed to save it. A little bit of car control there, but that looks sketchy from a distance.
Tyres protesting around the parabolica.
What's new? There you go, look at that. Pruitt, new personal best lap time of 48.1, so he's matching Killer's pace there.
Only 2/10 off the purple lap too.
Yeah.
And saving fuel.
Wowee. Look at him go. He's pulling more of a gap, but he's not messing about here, is he? Yeah, it's not like Nemesis is slowing down because Nemesis is still pulling a gap on Killer. So Pruitt is just that quick right now that he is just driving phenomenally. 3/10 purple.
Yep.
Whoa. Bloody hell, that is just insane. If he does a mid 47 this lap, I'll be speechless. Look at that, yeah, Pruitt's now got 4 seconds up. Just when I thought we were having a race here, ladies and gentlemen, to the end. Pruitt said, no thank you, I started racing the lead, I'm going to that way.
Yeah, and you got to think what it's like for Nemesis. You know, you're sitting there and you're watching the gap when you're trying hard. Just balloon out like that, it's 4 seconds right now. So Pruitt's well and truly shut the gate. Although Nemesis' speed today, he can respond to this.
It's going to be about which lap they get to. If they do that 66 lap, Pruitt might struggle fuel-wise here. It's going to be touch and go. There is still a fuel advantage in favour of Nemesis, Killer and Keza for that matter on top of Pruitt. We currently have 6.5 minutes to go here, ladies and gentlemen. That lap there from Pruitt, unfortunately, 49.0, so a bit slower than his previous lap time, but still went a second quicker than what Nemesis did last time around.
6.5, I reckon that's 66 laps. I don't have a calculator on my phone and my brain's old, but it's going to be very close.
I'll wait.
And 5 seconds that gets out to. Almost 5 seconds.
Yeah. The hammer has been firmly put down. Pruitt is running away with it. And he still goes purple through that first sector. He is monstering that first chicane. think you could be right in the sense that the stewards have sort of used up their quota of track limit penalties because like the way he's attacking that first part of the chicane, I think any other time you get a penalty for it, but Prue's doing a great job with it to ride that line so finely.
Yeah, and it is only centimetres.
That definitely isn't. Alright, so after being up by 3/10 through the first sector, he's down by 6.5 on his own personal time through the second. So it might be at the point where the tyres have hit the cliff and they start to come down now. Start to come down. But he's still got 5 seconds up on Nemesis. Like, right now, Nemesis needs a lap to go run 1 lap longer. And he needs the fuel advantage to come his way again. Try and get Pruitt to try and go on the ultimate, fuel save maximum. Cool's also sort of dropped off a little bit too, now 4.5 seconds behind Nemesis. So yeah, your podium is looking like it might be nearly all said and done here. I want to go back there and check out the rest of the field there. The gap between Dobrev and Petey Pops has come down. It's now 1.8 seconds between Dobrev and Petey Pops, P5 and 6, so we could have a battle here for the back end of the 5.
And how are they looking with fuel? Because I think you said Petey Pops had a pretty good fuel reserve there.
He did on Madrick, but Dobrev has got a small advantage on him. But they're both got enough to make it to the end of the race. So
Yeah.
right now, it's just a sprint for them.
34 seconds back. These guys probably finished lap 65.
Yep, I'd say it will be the case.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on that as the clock counts down.
Yeah, Madrick 7 seconds back. Looks quite deceiving when you look at the end shots here across the chicane. They look closer. But again, solid finish after 2 hours. Madrick. And this is where, so Madrick was fairly high in the standings too for, and Laminator, I think. Actually, Madrick's purple in that sector. Double points are really going to tighten up this Div 4 point series. Running into Dragon's Tail reverse at the end of the break.
Yep, no, it certainly is. Like, after double checking to the point stand and see where your top 3 were sitting prior to this round, I think we saw what Killer was leading, so he's going to get a nice good sort of bump. Brewer was in like the back end of the 10, so he's going to probably bump up towards like the podium placings in the driver's standings. And Nemesis, he'll probably do the same, get a nice P2. Shame we won't get that fastest lap point because Killer's taking it away.
Yeah, and I think Madrick was in it too because there was a crossover with the sliding divisions, so he was right up there as well.
Okay, interesting stuff. Right now though, we'll see what we've got. 2 minutes to go here, lap 64. Yep, Pruitt's definitely doing the 66 laps.
Yep.
Nemesis be doing the same. Keza, Killer, that'll have to be the same too, surely.
Yeah, 14 seconds. Look how Pruitt's pulled out a gap on P3 there. 14 seconds from about 5. 6, I think, 6.9.
Yeah, he's not messing about, Pruitt. The APL Automotive leader, team owner, and a legend of a bloke, according to his teammates, is he's putting on a show. He's just driving away with it. Yeah, up to 5.3. Pruitt's just... He's not setting the world alight in regards to lap time. He hasn't kills 47. But I think just because of where the tyres are currently, he's hit the cliff and he's not going to be able to sort of improve upon that. As we've got a car spin in P10. Had a moment in front of him there, has spun out, didn't cause any issues. 11-1's going to struggle for fuel here, actually. This is going to be interesting to see. Let's Nemesis go through. Nice work there, lad. Nemesis goes very wide. What's he doing there? Nemesis said, no, I'm going a bit wide. They're going to have dirty tyres. Gets me at 5.4 to Pruitt. Alright, so we're into the last minute of things here. So, well, actually, this is going to be the last lap. It's not going to be 65.
No, this is definitely last.
Yeah, there you go. I'll jump to the blade back of the field and see who's going to cross the start line first to finish their own race. So P Pops and P6 will get another lap in. Madrick will get another lap in. Your first car across the finish line will probably be... it might be Jim Bob in P12 here. He's going to be cutting it fine. Just wait and see. Yep, no, Jim Bob will be your first finisher as it appears. No, not to remember for Jim Bob, unfortunately.
He's finished, yeah.
Yep, P12 there. Next one will probably be Laminator, who's ran... Oh. Not a bad job there from Laminator to have his run his backup gear, for lack of better terminology, sort of on the fly to start from the rear of the grid and still get up to 8. That's a great job from Laminator. So a little bit of damage limitation there. Well done. Well done to him.
Especially at the late stage, the issues hit him. It's very hard to recover from that.
Yep. Next one will be Good Doc coming across the line. And then it'll probably be a race leader in Brewer, if I'm looking at it right. So, yep. Team owner for Blacklight Racing there, the tyre power BMW.
Parabolica for the last time.
Yeah.
Very commanding drive. It's sensational drive.
Yeah, Brewer there. Your race winner, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely awesome effort there.
Well done. That was a strong finish. Nemesis, equally strong drive.
Yeah, a great job from him to get what possibly could be his first podium.
Yep.
A little bit more crosses intense. Killer's going to get P3 in the end. Great job from him there. Yep. He also got the fastest lap.
Keza through P4. Both Killer and Keza have had their moments on track, so great recovery drives.
Yep. P Pops has closed that gap to Debrev, but it's not going to be close enough, unfortunately. Got down to a second, but he won't be able to. And P Pops has spun. Oh, he spun actually. Madrick's going to get the position off him, I think. Yes, he will. Madrick comes on through around the outside. He does. Madrick takes P6 at the desk right there from P Pops, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, still
P7 there.
Solid race at P7, especially when you're ill at the end of 2 hours. That's the trickiest corner.
Yeah, absolutely well done there. And that is Sector 1 Sim Racing.
Wow, what a race.
Enduro. Run and done.
We'll have
great effort.
Quick look at the results. So let me get that screen. All right, going through the results. Magnificent drive by Brewer. Overall time 2:01. Fastest lap of 1:48, 1:95. But an equally magnificent drive from Nemesis. At the end, finished 6 seconds behind a dominant final stint by Brewer. Great podium for Killer. I'm sure he had some mishaps about an hour and a half ago. That dropped him back to about 7th or 8th. Keza for P4, Debrev Q5, Madrick in P6. Petey Pop just dropping that position at the Parabolica on the very last lap, but a solid P7. Laminator P8, a lot of hardware issues for him. Good Doc in at P9, Malevolent 1 P10, and Daz in P11, and Jim Bob in P12. That is an amazing race. Captain Muffin, your driver of the day.
Oh, it's tough to call. Like, I do... My own bias does want to sort of lean towards Debrev, but I feel like I've given it to him the past 2 times I've race directed Div 4, so I probably shouldn't do that, otherwise I might start to get a bit sus. So really, I'll probably give it to Laminator, to be honest with you. It might not seem like much from P12 to P8, but he was running some very much unfamiliar gear, and his lap times, he managed to sort of get the most out of the car and still get into the top 10, which, in my opinion, that's worthy of a Driver of the Day nomination. What about yourself, mate?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I've got to admit that that last stint by Brewer was just amazing, where he'd been under pressure for basically an hour and 36 minutes, and to just put that display on at the end. Equally good for Nemesis chasing, but yeah, I agree with what you say. I also like Killer. His strive to get to the podium. I'm pretty positive he was, as I said, a fair way back after a really strong start. We'll have a look at the chat. We've got Actually, driver of the day, the top four, and that's pretty much what we agree on.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah. Nemesis from Jiggly's and Shadow Racing. Good Doc, driver of the day, Pruski. Yep, Laminator, driver of the day for himself, and I reckon with the hardware issue. So, driver of the day, Prua. Carbon Boy, driver of the day, Prua. So, and driver of the day, Keza from Stranger. I know that's a hard one. We might let the stream call that, and
Yeah, like it's going to be tough to call. I think there's a lot coming in currently for driver of the days. I can see. Yeah, look, I think it's going to be a close one. Of course, your top four, without a doubt. So yeah, we might play. Might have to recount that later on, I think, and see who's the official, unofficial, official driver of the day.
yeah. So get your votes into the stream, guys. You'll be the audience will be calling this one. It's really hard, but yeah, Lambinator, Killer, and then you've got the two at the very front, Pruski and Nemesis. So get those driver of the days in, guys, and we'll have a count and just see where it's all at from there. So that is a great race, and to have the field as tight as that, as much as it was over 2 hours, is a credit to the Div 4 guys. They had a bit of a rough start with a red flag, but they certainly come home and proved their racecraft through that race. No worries. Look, Captain Muffin, thank you very much for your commentary tonight and carrying me for a couple of hours and hosting that lobby. It's been really good.
No, absolute pleasure, mate. Well, I love doing this. I love hearing my own voice, so it's absolutely marvelous, mate. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to yourself for doing the stream there, Gur, and ensuring that everyone at home can enjoy the action as much as we do. And thank you to everyone at home as well, wherever you are, wherever you may be in the world, I should say, for tuning in and watching us on a Sunday night. It means a lot, and I'm sure we've said this once before tonight already, but just in case we haven't, don't forget to smash the like button. Absolutely with a hammer, just smash it. Don't really use a hammer. Trying to as well hit, I think, 1,000 subscribers in the near future. So if you're not subscribed already, boys and girls, don't be afraid to hit it. If you want to join the action on track, mate, there'll be a link for our Discord in the description. Just give it a click, come on in, say good day, how you going? We don't bite too hard there. And we might be commentating you one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And echo those sentiments. Thank you very much for watching. We're actually now starting our mid-season break. We'll be back on the 20th of October for round 6. And this is where we do a switch around and we have our Cat 2 drivers leading the rounds off. The next round, 20th of August, will be at Dragon's Tail Gardens Reverse. And it'll be an interesting race because we've had a bit of a look at the long-range forecast, and there's a probability of inclement weather. So let's see what happens at Seaside. And as Captain Muffin said, drivers interested in Sector 1, get onto that Discord. We also have regular community races that run alongside our Sector 1 rounds. So the next one will be after the commencement on the 20th of October. It'll also be at Dragon's Tail in the same car, BOP settings, but it's still a very competitive and racy car under that. So yeah, by all means, get on the Discord, have a look. It gives you a chance to have a bit of fun, drive in a league environment if you haven't done that before, and and potentially a seat in the main series. So look forward to seeing everyone in about 4 weeks' time. So again, thank you very much. We'll hit the outro here and we'll be out of here. So thanks, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.